Yep. But also, I am fairly certain that next Saturday, not this Saturday, but next Saturday, I will also be having, the same day as a collab, I'll be doing an actual Overwatch 2 coaching session with a Contenders player who's looking for some coaching. So we'll be using some of the OPR, like the accounts that they use as Contenders in Overwatch League. We'll be using some of those accounts to do some actual Overwatch 2 coaching. So if you guys want to actually see Overwatch 2 coaching, that's going to be happening 3 days before Overwatch 2 even comes out. Hoping for an SVB collab. I'm sure that's going to be on the radar in the future. So you guys stay tuned. But yeah, exciting stuff today. Let me actually pull up the coaching form today. So we had a last second cancellation with coaching, but I was able to fill it the last possible second. Hello, RNTS. Thank you for the sub. I appreciate it. We had a last second filling of the spot. So I think we should be good to go. Let me get my coaching form pulled up. Let me get my earbuds plugged in, and then we're gonna be good to go. So this Saturday, though, I want to talk a little bit about this Saturday. So this Saturday, for those of you who've been around for a while, is going to be a lot closer to like the old school Spylo streams, because we're going to be doing Ask Spylo, we're going to be doing a little bit of Hammer Time, and we're going to be doing our first 30-minute gameplay review. One of the things that I've been talking about is how people were like, I want to get coaching, but I really don't want like that in-hour, in-depth, detail, in-voice review. I just want you to look at my gameplay and give me some advice. Well, that's coming back for the first time since I've been back this Saturday. So we're going to have like an old Spylo throwback stream in terms of variety. Yeah. So, and I believe, wait a second, give me 1 second. Shoot! Wait, no. Classic roast too. So even though I'm a washed, like old roasting man, I will at least get to warm up my roasting muscles a little bit this Saturday too. So it literally is going to be old school Spylo in really every category again. Do I want to dance first? What? Lord of the Rings online content? All right.
No!
How do I moderate my channel? How do I moderate my channel?
What channel?
I don't know how to moderate my channel. Oh, there it is. You're lucky that I wasn't able to figure out how to time you out faster. You just dodged it by like this much. Okay, we're gonna hop into a coaching session today. Let's actually see what we're gonna be coaching today. I think we're starting off with some Soldier, which we haven't gone over before. And then I think we'll be doing some Flex support, which I don't think we've done recently. By before, I mean since we've been back. And then we have yeah, so we have like Ashe, double DPS hit scan, and then some Flex support as well today, so it's gonna be fun. We've done so much monkey recently, it's been actually kind of weird. All right, we'll get started in just saying. Hey T Nelden, will you be posting your VODs to YouTube again, or just the clips of topics? So no, I will be doing clips, and then underneath in the description there will be the link to the full VOD. Should be. If there's not, then I forgot, and you can yell at me. But we will not be doing full VODs anymore on YouTube. However, I do always save every stream as a highlight, so you can go back, click through like 2 times in each VOD and just see what I've coached and see if you what you missed. I'm thinking about, you guys let me know what you think about titling the highlights instead of just the date of the stream, titling it as well, like the heroes that I coach inside of it. So maybe it'll make it easier for you to be able to skim through and find what you're looking for. But no. Have you considered having the SR, or at least the rank of the VOD you're reviewing, in the corner of the screen? I should already have that. I did that starting, I think this Tuesday. I was doing that. The stream is all a bunch of monkeys. Makes sense. Hilarious. Dude, cat hair is the worst. It's like, especially white cat hair. I got out of the shower. My face is still a little damp, so it's like sticky. Okay, let's do this.
Welcome to Junket. Ready for battle.
Hello. Can you hear me? Because I can. Oh, perfect. There you go. How's it going? I appreciate you being flexible with this.
Oh yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
It's going well, you?
Good. So I'm looking through your coaching session because I hadn't even I had not even contacted you to set this up at all. Like you just submitted the form, and then I got the cancellation this morning. I'm like, hey, worth a shot. Ended up working out, so that's awesome. So I'm just skimming through your coaching form here. So we got Plat, Soldier. Let me actually transition my scene over here to fix this. So do you kind of want to like give me a rundown, I guess, as we're getting these things set up? Like, what are your goals? What's your history with Overwatch? What are your goals with Overwatch? Why did you get coaching? All those kind of like basic questions here, if you don't mind.
Sure. I've been playing Overwatch for maybe 2 years.
Okay.
Started in bronze and climbed my way up.
Nice.
I think the reason I wanted to get coaching is because I feel like I haven't been improving at the rate I'd like to. I haven't really reached my career high for several seasons, and I think I lack some consistency because I feel like my DPS, especially SR, fluctuates around 500 SR every season.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, just like to learn how to learn and.
Okay. So you said especially on DPS. So what is that? Does that mean that you play consistently more than just DPS? Do you play tank? Do you play heal as well? Or is it mostly just tank?
I flex consistently, but I main DPS.
Okay. Because I just found that question in the forum, and you talk about Soldier Cast, Situational, Sim, and Torb, Zarya, Sigma, Ana, Zen, BAP. So maybe it would have been simpler. Maybe I need to have a question like, what do you not main? That might be a little bit easier. But yeah, you do main a lot. Can you kind of tell me like how that usually breaks down over the course of like a week in general? Like how many Sim games, how many Torb games, how often do you play Ana, Zen, how often do you play tank? Something like that.
So I usually farm flex passes for DPS, and that's when I play my other roles. I think I play Sim and Torb just based on the map.
Yeah.
Or like on defensive 2CP, for example.
Yep. Okay. Sounds good. What about support? And I assume tank is just, tank. That's going to be flex pass. But do you end up playing support and flex pass as well?
Yep.
Okay. Sounds good. So here's the thing with flex passing really quick. So I don't know if you've heard any of my spiels about, hero pools and flex passes and things like that. So flex pass was essentially a cheesy way that Blizzard created a way to get people to play tank more often. And it's kind of a little bit like, I don't know how to put this nicely, but it's a little bit like the lottery, where it's basically preying on people who feel like, oh, maybe this is an opportunity to for something good to work out for me. But the problem is, it's like, the math doesn't line up, is basically the way to put it. If you want to play more DPS, queuing tank and then playing an entire game as tank or support, unless you want to improve at those heroes and you really, really enjoy playing those heroes as well, overarching the return on investment is just lower than just queuing DPS. Because the queue for DPS will be longer, but then when you actually get a game, you're playing what you want to play. Whereas a tank queue, even if it's a flex tank queue farming for priority passes, you're going to get a 2-minute queue for a 20-minute game, and then get a flex pass that's going to save you 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So your return on investment over time is going to be, you're only saving yourself 25% time by spending like 20 minutes in a tank game and tank queue and all that kind of a thing. So the reason why I have a problem with it is that if that's something that you enjoy doing, if you really enjoy playing tank and support, it's like, yeah, I might as well be farming flex passes along the way, then that's fine. But then you said that you've been stuck for a little while and your DPS tends to fluctuate a lot. Well, the reason is that you currently on your hero pool, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 heroes that you play with some sort of consistency. And even if you were to tell me that, oh, I play Soldier probably more often than any of those heroes, that's still not enough. I'm trying to think of like a good analogy here. If you were to like be into working out, okay? Do you know much about like lifting or working out a ton?
Just a little bit.
Okay, so a little bit would be like essentially like you're like really, really like you're competing for like a bicep tournament, right? If you want to get above average biceps, doing 2 sets of bicep curls once or twice a week isn't going to be good enough, right? You're going to need to really study your hypertrophy and study your strength and figure out which sets are the best. And you might have to end up training your biceps 2 or 3 times a week for 4 or 5 or even more sets. And essentially what you're doing is you're spreading yourself very, very, very thin right now. And that's just not going to fly. So my number one recommendation for you right now, maybe more important than any of the coaching that we'll talk about, is that you need to be able to trim these things down. If you love playing tank and support, okay, that's fine, but you need to find a way to play less than what you're currently doing right now. And then also I would recommend making sure that if we get a soldier VOD review, if you're not playing at least 2 soldier games every single day, then I don't know that you're going to be able to get the improvement that you want. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, no, Soldier's definitely by far the most played hero.
Okay. Okay. I know that's harsh, but that's just unfortunately how it is. And then if I go like into your training time as well, warm up with some custom games, FFA 4v4 deathmatch, that sounds great. Then play a few comp games most nights. Like that's the problem is like most folks, you're not going to have time to play. Like your hero pool might work to get your soldier to diamond if you were playing literally like 5 or 6 hours a day. But you're not. You're saying a few comp games most nights. So if you were to estimate how many games of soldier do you play a week, how many would that be usually? Just estimate.
Usually at least like 5 per day, sometimes more. So like 35 to 40.
So wait, 5 games of soldier per day?
Yeah.
Oh. So I'm getting the completely wrong read, because you say in your forum, you said you only have a few comp games most nights, but you're getting 5 soldier games plus whatever tank and support you play as well.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, that's sorry. I just want to make sure I'm getting the right read here. So can you just there's like a fully understand how much tank and support do you generally play per day? How much soldier do you generally play per day?
Maybe like 1 or 2 games of flex.
Okay.
And then like 5 DPS.
Okay. Seems good. For the tank and support, do you play that solely for farming flex, or do you do it because you really enjoy playing those heroes too?
A bit of both. I do like skipping the queue, but
Yeah.
I do also enjoy playing. I have like other heroes, and I do feel like that by playing other heroes and other roles, that in a way does improve my like knowledge of like interactions and abilities.
Okay. Yeah, that can be true, and as long as you're having a relatively decent time playing it, that's fine. We'll see how it goes. I think basically right now, the way I read your training situation, especially when we combine things like, I'm not sure how consistent your sleep schedule is, but 5.5 isn't great. There's a lot of like, I wouldn't say red flags for me, but there's a lot of yellow flags, or like how much support and tank you're playing is not necessarily a problem, but it might be. How much sleep you're getting is not necessarily a problem, but it might be, right? So the reason I'm bringing these things up before we get into the gameplay is these are just things to be aware of, that they're certainly not positives for your training. I don't know if they're negatives, but they're certainly not positives. So those are things that maybe you just need to consider moving forward. Does that make sense?
Okay, yep.
Okay. We could talk more about that if you have more questions about that, but I think we should start from that. Okay, so why Soldier? Like, what got you hooked on Soldier? Why, like, how long you've been playing it? What was the initial appeal for you?
So when I first started playing Overwatch, he was, the beginner-friendly hero.
Yeah.
And then I had like a friend in Masters who told me Soldier was trash and I should play Ashe instead.
Uh-huh.
And I did, and I started meeting Ashe, and I had a lot of fun. And that's when I got to like Plat for the first time.
Uh-huh.
But then I wanted to set myself a challenge of, okay, can I maintain Plat by not like relying on not one-tricking Ashe?
Mm-hmm.
And then I eventually, especially after the hit scan nerfs, I just found Soldier to be the most consistent.
What do you mean by consistent?
in that he works in a lot of situations because he's a little bit more independent.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Okay. Is he a hero that you like really enjoy playing?
Yeah, I enjoy him. I like the mobility.
Okay. Do you still enjoy Ashe, or is it just like this is just Soldier for the time being?
I do enjoy Ashe, but I think I don't know, switched to maining Soldier now.
Okay, fair enough. I think like the general rule should always be like whenever you can is just try and build a pool of the heroes that you most enjoy. So like if I look at your hero pool, like if you're on a 2 CP, maybe instead of Symmetra and Torb, play some Ashe if you enjoy Ashe as well. I don't think it's something you have to necessarily shy away from. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Soldier's fine. What's the general playstyle of a Soldier? Like, what do you like? You log into a game as Soldier. Like, what are you trying to accomplish? Like, what are the hero's strengths? You kind of brought it up a little bit earlier, but can you kind of elaborate?
Just use his legs to kind of contest high grounds and off angles.
Okay, sounds good. Okay. And then are there any situations where like you have a hard time playing Soldier, or you have to adjust your playstyle, or anything else like that?
Yes. I think against like hard dive, it's pretty. Yeah.
Okay.
Like against Dooms and Genjis can be difficult sometimes.
Okay, sounds good. So you pretty much just lock when you're on DPS. You're just pretty much usually almost always just locking Soldier and then just finding ways to make it work.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I think that's often a good mindset, especially at your rank. It's trying to find different ways to make your hero work and trying different playstyles. So let's start out. Let me get the stream on Discord so you don't have to worry about stream delay.
Escort the payload.
Let me know when you were good to go, and then I will get started.
All right. To go.
Okay, let's watch. So I don't want to like talk too much at the start. I just want to kind of play out a couple team fights. Let me know if you see anything. I might ask you some questions, and then we'll see how we go from there.
Sounds good.
Okay. Nice kill.
Probably over-focused that.
It's okay. Not the end of the world. Okay. Nice. Almost. Looking good. We'll watch this next team fight, and then we'll talk about some things. Oh, nice. You got him. Okay, taking a flank. I have to clear you out. Question for you. Do you remember how long ago was this game? Was this recent? A couple days ago?
This was yesterday.
Okay. Do you remember your thought process for you taking this flank?
Yes. So I know like where their team's going to be coming from. So then, and they're eventually going to need to contest the cart. So I can just, tax them from a different angle than my team.
Sounds good. I mean, the answer doesn't have to be like complicated, but okay. Seems good. I don't know how she ended up there. Okay, looks good. I lied. We're gonna watch one more team fight. We've got 17 minutes of footage, so I think we're okay.
For some reason, the quality on Discord's a lot worse. So I'm watching the.
Okay, that's strange. Do you want?
Okay.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I tried pausing the Twitch, and I'll see if that makes it better.
Yeah.
But if not, I'll just watch the Twitch.
Okay, sounds good. Just let me know in a couple seconds if it's still bad.
Yeah, that's pretty potato.
Right. All right. Do you want to just do over Twitch? Or
Yeah, I'll just turn it on.
Okay.
The Twitch is fine.
Sounds good. It should only be a few second delay, but hopefully it didn't cause too many issues. Okay, so you're taking top here. Visor with window. So it's a lot of damage. Looks good. Unfortunate. We'll keep going. So, some impressions right now. Just a couple of things. You definitely are looking for flanks, looking for off angles. There's a couple of times where I have seen that you were, I think, focusing the wrong thing. And by that I mean like shooting a shield or like shooting, like you said, in that teleporter mid-fight instead of shooting a more available target that's more pressurable. And then, to be frank, I think mechanically right now, you're not looking super fluid right now for the amount of time that you have in the game. And then also the way you're spending time like as a warm-up, right? You're not like one of those people that spends like 30 minutes in the practice range before going into rank. So it's a question for me is like what's going on mechanically. That's because you don't look super fluid. I can relate, but I know why my mechanics aren't super fluid. So in a second, maybe at a halfway point, I'd like to talk a little bit about like how you train mechanically. Okay.
Okay.
Get here. I'm on fire. The payload is here. Move it out.
Okay. Good. Scary.
Actually,
it's unfortunate.
would it be possible for you to share the stream again? Because I can't hear the game audio.
Yeah, true. We can try that. If it's visible, then maybe it's still better. All right. So let me know how it looks here.
Not the best, but I can hear it.
Okay. So we're gonna push up here. You're gonna shoot tank. You're gonna end up dying to soldier with like 1 second left on heal station. Okay. So I'd like to start talking this fight just a little bit. Let's kind of wait for the actual fight to start breaking out. So I think something that you can always kind of consider is there's something that when the last time I reviewed a little bit of soldier footage was a couple of weeks ago, and we talked a little bit about positioning in a way to kind of maximize your uptime while maximizing your ability to like put out pressure. And what I mean by that is like if you're on a hard flank, you're doing a lot of pressure, right? But if they're able to quickly clear you really, really quickly, then that's difficult. And generally when you're on a hard flank, sometimes it's easier for them to get rid of you because you don't have shields, you don't have healing, you don't have anything else support from your team. So the tricky balance with soldier is finding the position that allows you to do the most damage, do the most shooting, but then also doesn't mean that you're going to they shoot you once and then all of a sudden you're caught in a really, really bad position. So like let's go up here right here. You're technically on a flank right now, right? Like I would say this is kind of an angle or a flank, right? But how long do you think that you can stay here in this position here compared to like, I don't know, like let's say you were all the way over here. How scared would you be here versus how scared are you going to be here?
I'd say this is pretty like middle of the pack.
Yeah. Okay. Why would you say that?
Because I have cover and support in the stairwell, and then I can always drop and run to my team if I need to. Right,
exactly. The thing with soldier that's really great for you is that like it's very hard to kind of pin you down. You can easily disengage and escape from wherever you want. And the other thing that you really have to remember as well is your heal station is also what makes you sufficient on those angles and allows you to stay longer on those angles. Like if, for example, if you were here and you were in Ashe, like let's say this BAP isn't hard pocketing you, you would not be able to stay here for very long as opposed to a soldier. So it's more about like how long you're able to maintain pressure with a soldier and less about how much damage you're instantly able to do in a burst. So what we really need to see from you with soldier is one of like two things. You need to have good timing. So going off of your team's timing, right? Like 3, 2, 1, and that's what's force them to look at you and your team at the same time. Like they have to pick and choose. That's going to allow you to stay longer. And the second thing is you have to be good with your cover usage, and you have to be good with your heal station, because both of those things are going to allow you to stay in a good position longer than just if you were to stand out in the open and or waste your heal station in a situation that doesn't make sense. So does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. So like here, the problem with this position here is what? What would you say about this? The problem with this position is?
I have to leave immediately.
Right. So you're positioning in a way to where, yes, you're going to be able to get a little bit of damage early, and you're probably going to be fine. I don't think you're going to die, but like looking at the way your team is set up right now, you're essentially going to shoot, run away, probably heal station early, and then now you're going to the fight in a bad spot without your heal station. So let's actually see what happens. Now, and right, you see, now you've lost your position. Now, you didn't lose your heal station, but you lost your position. For what? To spook the monkey a little bit? That's not a very good return on investment. You kind of see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but let's say there's like, I don't know if I was like aware of them, but let's say if there's uncertainty about whether or not I would be immediately pushed out by their tanks, would it be worth, taking that more aggressive position, potentially get a sight line on their back line?
Sure, it could be. But what do you have to be aware of if you're going to push something like that? Like, let's go back at the moment that you actually pushed it. What do you have to be aware of at this point in time? Let me get you a better angle here. Okay. What do you see?
I guess how far my team is.
Right, how far your team is, right? This is a cheese play. If there's a Zenyatta up here, and you can just one-shot the Zenyatta and run away, go for it. But that's a cheese play, right? A cheese play means something that shouldn't work, but does, and you get away with it. It's not good fundamental Overwatch. Good fundamental Overwatch is playing around your team. If you see an opportunity to go for a cheese play, it's worth it. But if you look at the situation here and you're like, if I don't like one-shot that soldier or that Ashe or whatever else, then this doesn't really do anything for me. And the risk versus reward ratio is really, really bad, because there's a high chance that something also really bad could happen to me, or I'll have to lose my position, lose my heal station, something like that. You kind of see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't want to overthink this situation in particular, but I think this is a good encapsulation of something that you have to be thinking about as a soldier. It's like right now, okay, was there pressure there? Yeah, I mean, you even forced Monkey Bubble, but you're lucky that you even did that. And now, ultimately, your return on investment was not good. And then now, what do you have to be aware of here, too? What's about to happen right now? Not all these
sure.
questions are going to be easy. Think about it. Look at your HP, look at the enemy tanks, look at your team's position.
I guess I'm isolating myself.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Well, the isolation isn't the problem, right? Like considering the hero you're playing, right? You're bred for at least some form of isolation. But what's the problem? Look at look at your team's position and what they're actively engaging in right now, and then look at what you're doing. You see?
Yeah.
And the problem with this is there are two options here. One, you die. Two, you have to use your heal station. And both suck. Let's see which one happens.
What about the Mega?
Well, I mean, yes, but look at your HP right now. Would the Mega have saved you? Yes, but then you were still, you almost died against platinum enemy teammates. And what is your, what if you were to say, what's a medium SR goal for you? What would be a nice SR for you to reach on playing soldier in, let's say 3 or 4 months? What would you aim for?
Definitely, at least diamond.
Okay, diamond enemies kill you here.
Yes.
And they kill you not because you're isolated, but because number one, you lost high ground because you did something kind of silly. And then number two, you managed to do it again, but from a worse position. What was the mistake here? The most important mistake.
The direction in which I dropped.
Yeah. And then what was the mistake when you were shooting here?
Maybe not being aware enough of the team position.
Yeah, I think that's the key thing. You had 6 people looking at you, and your team was not doing anything. You rely on your DPS, your tanks, and your supports being essentially punching dummies to allow you to do like what you want to do. Let me actually before we go any further, I'm gonna actually stream something for you really quick, because I think this will illustrate the point a little better. And hopefully this will not also be potato quality. Otherwise, I'm gonna be really sad. All right, can you see this?
Yep.
Okay. So here's what it is. Here's what it is. Right now, let's draw a little graph here. Okay. This is going to be pressure on the left, which is just like how much damage that you actually do, and this is going to be risk. Let's just say risk here. Okay. And what you as a soldier have to do is you have to find the absolute biggest like return on investment for like what you're choosing to do. So for example, like let's say you're all the way in the enemy's backline, literally in their spawn, okay? You are doing really high pressure, really high risk, right? Now, if you're standing behind your enemy shield, you are doing much lower pressure, but at a much lower risk. Let me get a different color than that. Let me just use the same color, okay? But the thing is there's a, I'm trying to think of like, there's a middle point here where you can do a little bit of both. For example, if you go on a flank, just like on a slight off angle, your risk is actually only slightly higher, but your pressure disproportionately goes up. In other words, if you're just positioned just slightly to the left of your Rhine shield or just slightly in a high ground above your Rhine, oftentimes your risk is really not actually that low, but your pressure is infinitesimally higher. Not infinitesimally, but significantly higher. Okay? And then
I guess it also depends like is it pressure like over time as well.
Yes.
Because like
yes.
If you go into their spawn, then I'll have like a little burst of high pressure, but then
exactly
because I can't stay there long, it's going to be actually lower pressure over time.
Exactly, and that's what we have to factor in. Let's just say, let's actually rebrand this as pressure over time, right? Pressure over time. So like pressure here is feel like if you're literally in their spawn, the pressure is really high, but the reason why this purple dot is here and not like way up here is because, like you said, the amount of pressure that you can do over time is actually really low, because you're going to get shot and then you're going to be, that's it. You're going to have to run away, grab a health station or grab a health pack, or use your heal station and then wait for it to come back again, right? So that's exactly right. Now, if you were to go, like, let's say on a pretty deep flank, right? Then maybe the pressure starts to flatten out a little bit, because yes, you do get a lot of pressure, but now, like you said, the time that you can spend on that pressure is lower and your risk is definitely higher than it is from here. So if we were to like connect the dots here, right? You've got like 1, 2, and this is just like a ballpark estimate, right? So for you as soldier, you're going to notice the biggest bump in your value when you're able to transition from playing like just standing permanently behind shield bot all the time and then actually starting to utilize flanks a little bit. You're all of a sudden going to notice a huge return on investment. But
I feel like actually the chart should probably be like kind of like a bell shape. So instead of going up at the end, it should just go down, and then maybe like the point is to find that like peak. Because like if I'm in their spawn, then I'm feeding.
That's true. That's true. So maybe then the question is then maybe is your pressure over time actually, does it actually drop? Like you were saying, is it this or is it here because of how often that you're gonna die, or how often you're gonna end up running away and grabbing health packs, right? So which one is it? Now, the reason why you could have 2 points here is, have you ever played Soldier up against Dive? Obviously, I assume you have.
Yes.
Okay. That one would be this here. If you were to go on a hard flank, high risk, high reward, right?
Yeah.
Why? What does Dive have that you struggle with?
kind of burst.
Right. It has burst and it has mobility, right? So they're going to be able to chase you down and kill you. So then all of a sudden going for greedy flanks isn't good. And that would make a more passive playstyle, like let's say this one right here, that one might actually bump up. Because now all of a sudden you're punished more for taking flanks and angles, but you're punished less for just shooting people. You kind of see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, let's say you were playing soldier up against a Bastion comp. Like let's say Orisa, Bastion, Widowmaker. Okay.
Right.
How are you going to beat that as soldier?
Get behind the shields.
Yeah, you might look something like this, where you actually end up having to go on hard flanks. But then if you think about it, Bastion, Widowmaker, Orisa, they have actually nothing to chase you down with. They cannot. If you are in their spawn, they can do literally nothing about it. You could spawn camp them as soldier, and they would have no solution for that whatsoever. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yep.
So a lot of it depends on the circumstance. A lot of it depends on the situation. So what we like to do here is, I would say as soldier, I never, ever, 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 ever want you all only playing as a shield bot. And I very rarely want you to be hard flanking in their spawn. So 99% of your games are going to be somewhere in this ratio vicinity here. So the way we have to do is you have to get smarter at finding how far should I flank. But then what we talked about in the thing just now is not just how far do you have to flank, but how do you flank properly? Or how do you angle properly? Because if we look back at this fight right here, the problem was not that this angle or flank was too far. What was the problem with this angle or flank?
The timing of it, I guess.
It was the timing. The greedier the angle, if you're sitting inside of your team, it doesn't timing doesn't matter. You just shoot because you're going to be on their timing by accident. You're just going to be there. But as soon as you start to flank, as soon as you start to angle, then it becomes wrong. That's why whenever I talk about, always have been the angles and timing guy, because you cannot have good angles without good timing, and you cannot have good timing with and without angles, timing doesn't matter. If you have 6 people stacked on top of each other, timing doesn't matter. You're going to be doing it at the same time, whether you even try to. But as soon as you start having to incorporate people on different areas of the map, that's when timing becomes important, because it's actually hard. You see what I'm saying? You don't tell somebody who sits on the couch all day to stretch or to warm up before you run. They're not running. They don't need to warm up. There is no activity at all. But as soon as you start doing the right things and start moving around, there is a new risk that you have to be aware of. And that's kind of like what you have to be aware of. Like, I appreciate you doing things like taking high ground here, and I appreciate you positioning yourself here, but you have to be aware of the risks of doing those things and how to do them better. Does that make sense?
Yes.
If you stand behind your shield all day long, you will never have to worry about timing ever again, but you'll also never, ever, ever get as much value as you could. Totally fine. Good kill. Love it. How would you grade this angle in terms of, like, if we were to use that paint scale, how risk versus how much potential reward do you have here?
This would be definitely closer to the right side.
Yeah, I agree. But why does this work so well right now?
Because I've kind of been, it's been 3 seconds since I've been on their screen, so they forgot I exist.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. That's true.
And my team's pushing in.
Yeah, like, what is this Ashe looking at right now, right?
Yeah.
She's not looking at you, and by the time she looks at you, it's too late. You're dead, or she's dead, right? You also advise her as well, which means that you're significantly more likely to win any person that you get a go against. The only problem with this, do you see what was potentially risky about this right now? What are you doing? What do you not have?
The heal station.
Right. So,
also, I probably could have just opened with Helix to get more
probably
value.
Yeah, I would agree with that. But that's something that you have to be aware of as well. You don't have healing station, all of a sudden you're gonna find more benefit from playing closer to the left side of the spectrum. Remember that? If you have heal station, now the right side is more available because you're going to be able to upkeep your time more, and you're going to be able to win more 1v1s. And I know obviously, like, a lot of what we're talking about is, like, kind of feels kind of complicated, but like you've seen, it really is just common sense a lot of the time. If you don't have healing station, you're gonna have to play a little bit safer. That's just pretty much how we can break it down. And then even things like this here. Okay, now I don't have healing station. What is potentially a risk for you right now?
Just any poke or dive that will make me lose my position.
Yeah, exactly. So you have to be ready to like, I probably need to play really, really disciplined with cover, or be ready to drop and run to my team so I can get healing. Because now I cannot support myself anymore. Which is why you have to be so guarded. This is why like you can point to a point in time like I think going for the kill on the Ana here is fine. But like you have to, your whole mindset has to be like, man, I really have to protect my healing station, and really have to pay attention to my timing, because if I lose my healing station, I might even end up losing the position entirely. Okay. Okay. Good. And this position is like, even if you don't have healing station here, now it's like it's like so hard for them to clear you out, right? You're so far away. So you can just chill. Good. I mean, that was okay. Do you see how like she dove you, but then you just dropped, and then theoretically you should be able to get enough support to be able to survive the engagement. You should be okay.
Right.
I would actually look in these, like what I would actually do here. A little bit of like, you know, hindsight vision here, right? Maybe if this is this healing station in reaction to the Ashe, I assume.
Yeah, just to whatever chip damage I was taking.
Yeah, okay, then that's fine. If it's a reaction to the diva, it might just be that you just have to run away. And then just heal station later. But if it's to the Ashe, then you know, whatever. Okay, so we lose the fight. I think we behaved reasonably there. Wouldn't worry too much about it. Run. And then I think even here, like, what can your mindset be? Like, let's go back a few seconds. Like, obviously, you're down a bunch, you're kind of resetting, you're thinking about next fight. So, what can your mindset be right now?
Probably regroup and go for that, you know, safer position.
Yeah. Regroup. Maybe set up to get ready to take your next angle. Like, I would probably run back to like here, right? And then be ready to like, okay, I'm getting ready to push the high ground and basically try again when my team's timing. So like this here is like really not safe at all. Like you really should probably die there. And you got to think like if you die for it, obviously like that's a pretty rough stagger. But like even if like we're aiming for diamond, right? You die even faster, right? Okay. Now your team's going in, but it's just really horrible timing. Half your team isn't even there yet, and you're sticking the dice for it. Okay. Yeah, you guys are getting toasted. Just reset. Just get out. Just get out. You're gonna stagger. Okay. That's unfortunate. Okay.
Patched up.
What's going to make this a successful visor? What are you relying off of?
Maybe some distraction from my team.
Yep.
And awareness of things that could shut it down.
Sure.
Which is probably just Diva.
Yeah, exactly. So what you need to worry about is like, obviously it would suck if Diva just flies into your face and matrix you. But you always want to make sure that Diva has to pick and choose. Like if you wait, like 3, 2, 1, wait, like 3, 2, 1. Like let's say you guys were to actually like push forward now, right? If that Diva has to choose between a Bastion, a monkey in her backline and a Roadhog in front of her face, it's going to be really difficult for her to make that decision, right? You kind of made this choice a little bit easier for her.
Patched up.
Not because being here was bad, but because, well, you know, actually, okay. Well, actually, let's think about this. Let's think about this. I think this might actually be okay. What's good about this, I guess, from your team's perspective? I was too hasty.
As long as I don't feed, I'm distracting a pretty important person.
Yeah.
And she's in a place where she's not going to get resources easily.
Yeah. Is there something else happening on the battlefield right now?
Yeah, the monkey's in.
Yeah. She's way overextending for you. So as long as you, and why are you like in a good position to survive this engagement just fine? Like, let's look at how you actually play this from like a micro level.
Patched up.
Look at your positioning, right? What do you think?
I mean, I don't think she can burst me down that easily with healing station, and I can also run away.
Yeah, and look at your cover use as well, right? You could have been a little better, but it was actually really, really difficult for that Ashe to be able to even put pressure on you as well, because if you take in a shot, you duck behind a corner a microsecond later, and then you're just fine. So I think this is probably pretty reasonable. Again, I will say that Diamond Divas, like as you rank up, you are going to have to run from Divas rather than heal station and just tank them. But for now, this seems fine. You forced a bomb for essentially nothing. I really don't know how your Bastion died. I am really curious. That's really unfortunate. And then the rat's gonna get it a kill. So I think like this is just one of those decisions where you just see an opportunity, you're just gonna go for it. I actually don't think as long as this is winnable, and I think it is, I think it's fine. I'm not usually so obsessed with teammates, but I am gonna point this out. Okay, unfortunate a little bit. I think that you can say that you played that fight reasonably well. You saw an opportunity to clutch, you saw no matrix, you got pretty good return on your investment, and you know it worked out well because do you see how panicked the enemy team was as soon as you hit that visor? Like they immediately pop Bob and Cole, and then they start freaking out, and you still almost won the fight as a result. So my problem here okay, please reset. I beg of you to reset. I was gonna say my problem here is that you're not fixing to reset for the third time, but it looks like we're okay. Okay, good. Careful. This is good. Do you see this? Like now the Ashe can't shoot you. Like I know that Ashe is giving you fits, but this is good. Uh-oh, okay. You don't have heal station, so you're playing closer to your supports. Good. A little bit of like, I don't know what to do here. Keep in mind versus Diva as well, like the worst thing that you can do for a Diva, for the Diva, is just run away from her. Because remember how her damage works? It just completely tanks, and she doesn't have perma boosters. So if she boosters here, I mean, obviously at this point you're kind of walk yourself into a corner, but if you see her boostering to you, and you just run here and just turn around and start shooting her and sit on the Mega, and then maybe plop your heal station if she tries to booster you again, there's actually nothing that she can do. You plopping heal station and then standing in front of her face is something that she, like a good Diva, will beat you. She will beat you. So like this is better than doing nothing, but like you can see like she has no idea what, like look at her POV right here, right? It's a bit lucky, right? Watch this tracking here. Right? She just I can't even get it. So you're relying on them being bad, and it's not a good decision for you long term. So I want to see a little bit more. Oh, they're diving me. I'm going to disengage, play for health pack, play for my support, and then heal station off of chip damage later. Or if they continue to pursue, then I can heal station. All right, let's see what happens here. Okay. I mean, I think this fight's just lost. Okay.
This old dog's learned a few tricks. Why are we stopped? Get the lead out and move this payload.
10 seconds remaining.
Okay. Why does this work? You want to guess what that Ana was looking at?
Her team on the payload. Oh, the monkey, I guess.
You see what I'm talking about?
Mhm.
Like, it's just actually so important as a flanker, is understanding these things. And this is why when you're playing a hero like this, whether it's Tracer, Soldier, like anything that takes any sort of flanker, any sort of angle, if you're not aware of what's happening with your tank line and with your DPS line elsewhere, you will have such inconsistent success, and it will be a complete accident on whether you make the right play or not. This play is either a complete victory, hard flank success, kill the entire enemy team, or it's an abysmal failure, and the entire enemy team just curbo stomps you, right?
Yeah,
And
I think even without like necessarily being fully aware of my team, just by like I guess I do have to worry about enemy respawns, but like if I see it's an Ana, then I know that she's probably the furthest back.
Yeah, exactly. But you have to, like your monkey going in there, it cannot be, oh, that ended up working out. You have to know he's in. You have to know. Because that's the difference between feeding or not feeding. It's that simple. And then even like this visor here, right? This visor works because of, again, what's happening elsewhere. Because of what your Cassidy just did, because of what your Winston just did, because of what their Winston just did, because of the fact that your Roadhog is with you. All of these things are going to make you just basically just easily win this team fight. But if you don't get these things right, then you're going to lose. You're going to be a horrible soldier. You have to understand this. Okay. And then now let's just clean things up. Okay. So, honestly, pretty weird VOD so far. Like, really strange. Little bit of, some timing discussions as always. Like, it wouldn't be a Spylo VOD without talking about timing at least once. Definitely a little bit of awareness of like how you kind of play the interaction with D.Va. That will probably be helpful going into Overwatch 2. And then also just like kind of being aware of like your heal station and what that means in terms of like your turn on investment. Do you have any questions so far?
No.
Okay, we'll keep going. This is a rough situation for you. Look at the enemy composition. What's the problem here?
They have more mobility now.
Okay, so they have an opportunity to dive you more on flanks, kind of like what that Winston D.Va was doing earlier. So they have Winston, but what else is the problem?
I need to be checking for Widow's line of sight.
Does Widow counter you?
She can, in like open maps such as this.
Okay, I'm sorry, I'm so distracted. I have one of these standing desks I'm trying to lower, and it keeps bugging out, popping right back up again. It's been like the most distracting thing ever. Yeah, exactly. So if you don't know where she is, she can completely shut you down. But if you know where she is, then you can make her life absolutely miserable. So what is going to be the tricky balance for you here? Think about the graph, right? What's going to be the tricky balance for you?
Being in a position where I can get line of sight on valuable targets while being safe enough from the dives and the Widow.
Yeah, exactly. It's all going to be about, can you avoid that line of sight of Widow and still be able to take some angles. So where would you put your... Well, actually, I'm not going to say more. Let's just watch and see what happens. Uh-oh. That's kind of like the D.Va, where I don't want you thinking about anything, but as soon as you see that Winston in the air, you run. Ah! No good.
Yeah, I should have just let her heal me.
Yeah. You play this interaction totally differently. If you get dove, you do not heal station. You run. You run, you get healed, and then you save your heal station for... like heal station is not going to keep you alive in a dive. Running will. Heal station is used for chip damage, poke damage, when you're positioned in a way to where it's hard or difficult for the healers to help you, or when you're 1v1ing somebody. If this Winston jumps on you, or that D.Va pushes you, or the Reinhardt Lucio push you, you don't heal station and just tank that. You have to run, and then once you're here, you need to have the awareness of like, okay, I have disengaged, I am now safe, I'm gonna save my heal station, and then re-push this, plot down heal station, and maybe now if it's just the Winston and he doesn't have jump, now it's a matchup that I can actually take. Because even if we think about this from like a raw team play, boring, no angle playing style, you could sit here behind your Sigma shield, plop down your heal station for your entire team, and just mow down the middle. This wouldn't be the best thing that you could do, but it could be something that you could do if you had heal station. Or you could say, oh, I have heal station, I can go take a more aggressive angle. I'm gonna actually peek this Winston, knowing that even if this Winston sees me, if it's just a Winston, my heal station will be able to keep me up. Okay. Run. Okay. Yeah. See, this is it's the same kind of thing. Like it's gonna be a little easier in Overwatch 2 because they're gonna do slightly less damage, at least direct. But like here, he gets like the perfect combo on you. He hits you with the punch, he gets you with the zap, he gets you with the landing damage, and then now you're done. And again, your reaction here, if he is able to get a jump and land on you and just instantly be able to zap you, like the reaction should not again be to heal station. The reaction should be to run. You kind of see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm not saying you like run from monkeys all the time, but if he's just gonna land on top of you, you're screwed. You cannot beat a monkey if he can land on you. Okay, not the greatest use of heal station, but there was theoretical value there, right? Theoretically, like your team could have gotten value from it. Again, here it's fine to properly use it. A little bit of extra sustain. Okay, sights is really, really tricky. Please respect the Widow. Run. He didn't respect the Widow. Okay, so what's the solution here then? What do you think?
Probably either stay where I am now or drop.
Yeah.
Because I think it would be difficult to cross to the left.
Yeah.
Even though it would have been nice to, could also be nice to be there, but
yeah,
getting there would be hard.
Yeah, I think at this point, like considering they've already used beat, maybe the best option is just to legit just run away and play for a recontest. I don't think you guys win this fight. Maybe you get a trade. I'm not sure. Okay, let's see what happens here. All right, so what's the plan? I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody and their mother knows what the plan is for you right now. But what's the plan?
Get a good visor.
Yeah, get a good visor, find a good angle. When do you do it, though, is crucial, because if you do it at the wrong time, what's going to happen?
Yeah, it's just not going to get much value.
Yeah, you're probably going to get your head blown off. So
I've got you in my sights.
is this visor going to work?
Not the best.
Yeah, I would be shocked if you don't die in the next like 5 seconds. And again, it's just the information that you have. Like I understand that your Cassidy got shot, but he's getting rezzed. Your Sigma Roadhog are about to walk out here. Your Sigma's almost there, but you're taking a 1v6 right now. You see? This can't work. Goodbye. This can't work. Like, this can't work. Like, the best case scenario there, you can say that, oh, maybe I distracted the enemy team and my Roadhog was able to land a hook on Lucio. But that's kind of backwards. Like, you generally want your tanks creating attention for you to get kills. Obviously, there's things like Roadhog hook and Reinhardt charge and things like that. But the vast majority of, like, the actual killing threat comes from your DPS. And from the tanks threatening and the DPS killing. Especially when you have something like a visor, right? You don't open with visor. You let your tanks go in, and then you take your flank and then punish them in the backline because they've got no cooldowns. Imagine if we just play this fight out now. 3, 2, 1. Your Roadhog walks out. Your Mercy's pocket. Your BAP is lamp. Your soldier has the angle. And you've pushed out with visor now. Imagine that.
Mm-hmm. And would it have been worth going, since it's like we're down and it's the last second recontest, to go out even deeper?
Yeah.
So then I could,
YOLO.
like one.
Yeah, YOLO, like legit, like just get like, run out here, smack the visor down, keep that. Even if you don't get the kill, if you get that on a Widow looking at you and you're just like jiggle peeking and then keeping him busy, and then maybe just turn on and shoot some tanks and just crouch, whatever. That's a lot of pressure, right? Like, do you think she's going to be healing her team? Do you think she's going to have nade for your tank line anymore? Do you think this person is? Do you think the Widow's going to be shooting at your team at all? No. Like you're gonna by threatening, you're going to put out so much pressure that's going to be able to help your team out so much. But you're dead because you went up by yourself. The further along the line you are in terms of how greedy your flank is, the more important that you get your timing right. And what we've seen is at least 2 or 3 times when you've gone for greedy flanks, and because your timing was right, your return on investment was horrible. We're going to see it again here. This is more of a feedy / greedy flank. Now, remember we talked about cheese?
Yeah.
Is it always a negative for you to go when your team is not ready?
No, if I can ensure that I don't feed.
Right. If you ensure that you don't feed, and what else can you not do? What do you not want to use? Basically.
Resources that will be useful a few seconds later.
Right. Heal station is the big one, right? Helix you'll get back fast enough, but you don't want to use heal station. So this right here, you're thinking maybe I can get like a cheeky one shot. That's okay. I'm actually not. I'm not against that. Just keep in mind this cannot cost you your heal station, and it also, the problem with that is if you don't make that work, they all know where you are now, right? So then you lose the element of surprise as well. So just something to keep in mind. Let's grab that mega. Good. And is stuff happening right now?
I think so. Their tanks are pretty pushed up.
Yeah. The tanks are pretty pushed up. You can also hear, like you just heard, BAP window, right? You can use that as a cue. This Ana should be cooked. This Ana should be cooked. She should die. She almost got you. Good. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Is this a good trade for you right now? What you're doing?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a 2 for 1. And you're probably gonna kill her too. 3 for 1 now. That's what heal station is used for. Uh-oh. Should be okay though. That Junkrat I don't think sees you.
My servants never die.
Okay. So that was good. Now what?
I think I can probably ignore the Junkrat for now and go left.
Yeah, I would come up here and look for pressure here. Obviously this road might hook you. But yeah, let's see what happens.
This is not the end.
Careful. Good. Okay. Run, no. Oh, you're good. This has been the best soldier that we've seen from you so far. That's been the last 20 seconds. Your timing has been really good. Your cooldown usage has been really good. Your awareness of things like the Roadhog and the Junkrat and things like that has also been really good. Excellent. And he lives. You essentially, you really did hard carry this fight. I think pretty clearly with how you played it. This was really quite good. Do you understand exactly what made this good?
I mean, like you said, I think just better awareness.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And it was also, think about remember we talked about pressure over time? This was more of a hard flank, but because of your use of cover and then grabbing the mega and then your use of cover again and then using the heal station, how long were you able to put pressure out from here? What was the uptime?
30 seconds probably.
Yeah, it was high, right? You were almost consistently and constantly shooting enemies and threatening enemies, almost very high uptime. That's what we like to see. Oh. Oh, this is just the VOD for giggles, I guess. Oh no, poor guy. Okay. Wow, you have cause some significant issues to the enemy team at this point. They're clearly aware. Like they literally just go Reaper here because they're tired of like dealing with you. They want to get rid of you. But apparently you've mental boomed them so hard that they've now messed up even the most basic of abilities. And do you see like this adjustment here? Like, how would you grade this position in terms on uptime, on pressure? Where would you put it?
This current one?
Yeah.
I would put this at like middle of the pack again.
Yeah.
Because I'm not like repeating the same flank.
Yeah.
And there's no way Sigma can shield all of them during this cross if I'm here.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I think this position looks really quite juicy. I think you should be able to do a lot of damage, and then you're actually at such a low risk of dying either as well. Like, you're such a safe position here. Look at your cover usage. You got heal station, you got a support next to you. You can shoot literally anything you want, Rhine Shield, Moira, whatever. This is really quite good. And if they walk too far forward, you're gonna visor and they're all gonna die. So what was the problem with this visor? I would say there's only one problem with this visor.
I think it just wasn't necessary once the Rhine died.
Yeah, well, yes and no. It's not just that it wasn't necessary. Look at the enemy team's position right now.
Yeah, they're all close to cover.
That's the thing. The thing with visor, it has to be like when they've committed mid-fight. If you do it too early, then it's just so easy. Even though they have no shield, every single one of these characters is going to be able to just simply walk behind the wall, and then they're going to be safe. This Ana is just smoking, but yeah. That being said, your position is still oppressive. She should be dead. She is. You need to be aware of that Reaper. I assume that he's going to be looking for you at some point. Actually, where is that Reaper? What? Oh, he's dead. My bad. I thought he was still alive. He had died earlier. Okay. This is good. We'll watch a few more. Reviving. Oh, it's just official.
I think it's a replay bug.
Yeah, it's a replay bug. Yeah.
Feeling spry.
Okay. What is something to be aware of with your current position right now? This angle was really good when you initially chose it, but why does it feel a little bit weaker now? What has changed?
My teammates are pushed up more.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where's the best angle to play when your teammates are pushed up like that?
Probably with them.
Yeah.
Like just.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
That was a trick question, right? I don't know if there is an angle that you can play, right? So then this becomes a situation where like just play with your teammates. It's not gonna feel great, but you're gonna do fine. You'll get good heal station value, get good damage pressure, and then if your teammates end up pushing back, you can just sprint away, retake your high ground, retake your angle, and do it again.
Or go like all the way under left into their spawn.
Sure, you could do that. High risk, high reward kind of a play, right? Just keep watching. This ends up not being too bad, but obviously the concern is that this is really when you'd want to be shooting, right? And you're not able to shoot them, right? Like, look at your team. Like, your team is playing 5v6 right now. Think about how much pressure you'd be able to put on this Rhine Shield, how much pressure you'd be able to shoot in this Roadhog that's no longer there. Now, you probably would get shattered and die, but I don't see you being able to do much of anything until theoretically the fight is basically done. You kind of see what I'm saying? The fight is done now. It is over. Unless you get a massive flex. No. And your contribution here was essentially minimal, not because this flank is bad, but because you didn't line up with your team's positioning. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to wrap it up, but I want to wrap it up with a couple of questions. So, honestly, with you, kind of a strange VOD. Strange situations in terms of like the map, the heroes, some pretty goofy stuff from the enemy team as well, made it pretty funny. But like, what stands out to you? A couple of things that stand out to you for your soldier.
I think the main thing is just the awareness aspect of it, of checking more often, like physically looking at where my teammates are, because then you can use that to also kind of infer where the enemies are. which will inform better timing. I think that's the main takeaway.
Okay. I think that might even help with things like that last team fight there, where the problem wasn't timing, it was just positioning, right? If you really are conscious, oh, my teammates are there, I am still here, maybe I should adjust my positioning as well. Maybe that's going to help us too. Training as well. Something I want you to keep an eye on is just your sleep schedule and your time playing other heroes. I don't know if those are necessarily problems for you, but those are things that in the past with me working with other players have been issues. So it'd be poor of me to not do my due diligence and at least tell you that those could theoretically be issues with your improvement. What I want you to do is I want you to give me an update in a couple weeks. Tell me how things are going. Tell me how the SR has, if the SR has improved. But more importantly, do you feel like you've made progress at the things that we've gone over? And we'll see what we can do from there. Sound good?
Okay, I do have just one quick question.
Please.
You mentioned at the beginning, something about like mechanical fluidity, and I do think that is something that is one of the inconsistent aspects. Like ever since I got like a new mouse, I feel like sometimes I just feel really locked in, and then sometimes I'm not sure, like how should my arm be on the table? How should I be gripping it?
Okay. So I'm not a mechanics coach, but I can give you some general advice. What is your EDPI right now?
It's 2.25 in game, 1600 DPI.
Okay, that should be fine then. Are you consistent with your warm up every day? Like you do the same essential warm up, whether it's FFA, whatever?
Yeah, pretty consistent.
Okay. Then the only other factor that can cause more inconsistency than usual is going to be, the two other factors are going to be either what you're playing the day before, whether that's, yesterday I played a lot of support and a lot of tank and not much soldier, or it will be sleep schedule. Because something that's so mechanically intensive, mechanics, you have to understand, falls a little bit in line, like it's less, sleep affects physical and mental, but like it's going to affect your reaction speed. And your ability to aim well is sleep inconsistency. So if you, like, let's say you had a really bad night of sleep, that might affect your aim the next week or the next couple of days. So those are things to be aware of is like how consistent you are with training and then how consistent you are with your sleep. Those will impact your aim as well as your ability to make good decisions in the heat of the moment. So something to keep an eye on. The other thing to keep in mind as well is that everybody is inconsistent. So for you, it's going to be about, if you're better with your sleep schedule, it's going to help a little bit here. If you're better with your training schedule, it's going to help a little bit there. But Overwatch League players could be put into a cryostasis chamber, sleep for 9 hours every single night, play the same exact amount of heroes every single day in ranked and the exact same amount of heroes in scrimmages, and they would still be inconsistent. That's just the nature of the human body, and that's just how it is. So the best way for you is to take some steps to mitigate against it and then to not let it bother you. That's why when we focus on like improvement aspects, we focus on things that you can do no matter how tired you are or how inconsistent you feel. You can still look at where your team is positioned, right?
Right.
Because the other stuff is you can improve on overall, but like everybody is inconsistent. Everybody, I promise you. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay, if you have any other questions, just DM me. My DMs will always be open, and like I said, just give me an update in a couple weeks. Sound good?
All right. Sounds good. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, of course. Appreciate you being flexible, and I'll chat with you later. All right.
All right.
All right.
Bye-bye.
See ya. Okay. So let's go over into the next VOD here. Next on the list here. The funny thing is, chat, is if you haven't noticed, I did not sleep well last night. I did not sleep well last night whatsoever. So what I'm trying to do is trying to do the best I can coaching-wise. But with all honesty here, I don't feel like as spry or as super energetic or like super creative or big brain as I normally do. So we talk about inconsistency here. There is inconsistency as a coach too, right? Especially the first half of that VOD, man, I did not feel like I was doing my best work. So sleep is important. But it happens to everybody, guys. It happens to everybody. Makes fun. Hello.
Hello.
Long time no chat.
Hello. How are you doing?
Doing pretty good. Your mic is weird. Let me turn you up.
Is it too low?
That's better. That's better. You still don't sound as handsome as me, but you know that's a pretty high bar. So.
Close enough.
Huh. Now my ears are being assaulted. Can you give me like say hello? My name is Aiden. Say that for me. Maybe are you adjusting your mic?
Yeah.
Okay. Try it again. Say something.
Hi,
Okay.
Aiden.
Okay. Say, Spilo, I wish I was as handsome as you.
Milo, I wish I was as handsome as you.
Ah, that's you were so
Is that good?
crystal clear there. I don't know what it must have. It was. I could hear you perfectly. Long time no
I was
chat.
fixing my mic and I unplugged it.
Yeah. That's what I figured. That's what I figured. Long time no chat. I hope you've been doing
Yeah.
well.
Been doing good.
What have you been up to recently, if you don't mind me asking?
Honestly, just busy getting back home and playing Rocket League,
Yeah.
and then some Overwatch.
What? Getting back home?
Yeah.
Where you been at?
I've been in the US for the longest time.
What? How did I not know?
Yeah. Did you not know that
I didn't
I was
know.
studying in the US?
No, I didn't. You don't tell me anything.
I was studying in the East
I've
Coast.
been coaching you for years, and you don't tell me anything. Screw you, man. Ruined
Well-
my day. Tell me about it.
Yeah, I was studying there, and then stuff happened, and now I'm back home.
Sick, man. Sick. How was the studying?
Yep.
Where were you studying?
I was studying in Miami.
Ah, Miami. Okay. I used to live in Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to live in
No,
Florida. Cool. How was it?
it was nice. It was really nice. I was there for like 4 years, I think.
Jeez, how do I?
And
miss
then
that
now I'm
place?
back.
All right. Well, welcome back, I guess. It's a shame that I missed you, but that's okay. I wouldn't made you feel too bad about yourself. You're like, man, I thought this guy was good looking over the internet, but it's even. Well,
Great.
we've come a long way. I remember back when you were old masters.
have.
What rank did you end up hitting at some point? You climbed really high.
4.4, I think.
4.4. Yeah, so you got all the way to
Yeah,
4.4.
I got like 4.4, and then I stopped. That was like my dream goal, and then I was like, Overwatch was dying, and I was like, sick of it after 5 years.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, you got to 4.4, and now you're back on the grind set. Why? What's changed?
Overwatch 2 is coming, and I got bored
really?
of,
Shocker. Okay.
and I got bored of Rocket League.
You what?
I got bored of out of Rocket League.
Oh, you got bored of rolling, like just running in
Rocket
circles?
League. No, it's like a car game.
Oh, that's what I said. You got bored of running around in circles.
Yeah.
That's essentially the game. I played
Pretty
Rocket
much.
League, and I was like, the soundtrack is cool, the gameplay's fun, but I can't imagine playing this game for longer than like a couple hours. I would have lost my mind. I must have horrible taste. So, how long
Yeah.
have you been playing, I guess? So I'm like looking through your form here. And
I haven't been playing much, but I've been like ranking for teams. I ranked for like a Masters team yesterday, and I've been playing some ranked, but like the queue times are just so long. It takes 20 minutes to get a game,
really?
and then when I get a game, yeah, at support, and when I get a game, my other support just trolls mid-game, and I was like, nah, I'm done with Overwatch for today.
So you're not playing much ranked, bad. You're just basically gonna get something to work on going into Overwatch 2. I see.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I've been ranking for teams. I enjoy playing with teams more.
Yeah. Somebody in chat telling me support queues are 20 minutes in Masters. Yikes. Okay. Well, we'll pull some stuff to talk about in Overwatch 2. Well, I first off hope that you're ready to feel really, really sad when you land the craziest 180 flick sleep dart and then get purged by the stupid Kiriko and just completely. Have you seen that?
I can't wait for that.
I'm hoping that it's just going to be a lot harder to actually like purge a sleep dart. Maybe if the person's deep, but I'm ticked off about
It
it.
could be a hard thing, yeah.
I'm just ticked off. I'm just absolutely miserable. But yeah,
I'm gonna main her for a while.
yeah.
I'm
So
gonna try the new support.
I think everybody's gonna.
Is
try
she like
this.
a flex or main? I think she's a main support.
I
Or,
don't
like,
know. I think like I mean, we've kind of seen like everybody in Overwatch is going like hybrid mode. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm thinking like a hero with a weapon and who's as dynamic as she is feels like more aim oriented, like a flex support. But then also her healing isn't super hard to do. And then also like there are certain aspects of it are like main support. I guess it's going to be the flex support versus main support is going to be how impactful is the hero's mouse one, right?
How mechanical is it?
Right. Well, and we know it's hard, but is it going to be important? You know what I'm saying? For example, if it's like, you know, it's really hard, but it's not like think about like Lucio aim. Lucio aim is like really, really hard, right? But it's not super important. It's not the most important part of him. Whereas like a Zenyatta, the aim is really hard, but it is super important. So you consider like you need somebody to aim with Zen, right? Yep. Lucio, it's like not the most important thing. So I'm not really sure. Not really sure. Ana, not a lot of changes. I think for the most part,
cooldown.
Yeah, I think the one nice thing for you, have you played much beta at all?
I've played it, but not much.
Yeah, the big thing for Ana, the biggest thing for Ana is like I think slightly longer cooldowns on her cooldowns. But the big thing is the passive heal is just delightful. It's just delightful.
Yeah, I don't rely on my main support in ranked anymore.
Exactly. She also has the nade lasts shorter. It doesn't last as long.
Isn't like the nade and the sleep lasts like 1 second less?
I think the sleep is the same. The nade is different. The nade lasts about 1 second less. But you have, I think, 15 shots or 14 shots, I think, in your gun instead of 12?
15.
15, yeah. So those are some things to be aware of. Okay, general playstyle is gonna be pretty much the same. We'll just play it as we see, and then obviously like we'll see exactly like what you need to work on and try and make it Overwatch 2 centric, which shouldn't be too hard.
All right.
Because as predicted, I don't think the game is like. Actually, I need to change my commands here in channel. Just give me 1 second. Commands, edit, VOD, GM, Ana. Okay.
Name. Go. I need healing. Damage increase.
For you, I want to focus mostly on gameplay because I'm sure, like, well, do you have any questions about your strategy or your mindset or any of those things?
Not really.
Okay. The reason I kind of skip those steps with you is because we've worked on those things a lot before, and you've been around the block a little bit, so I'm pretty sure a lot of the stuff that I'd say you're aware of. So, you know,
I know how to get back into the grind.
Yeah, I okay. As long as that's the case, then we're good to go.
Taking damage.
So I actually look at this comp here, and I'm thinking like, I kind of want you to play. I kind of want you to play aggressively, to be honest with you. Like I think like there's really nothing that's you have to worry about that you can't deal with. Like the hit scans are gonna be problematic on flanks. You know, the hog is gonna be problematic on flanks, but like you could have tools to deal with all those things. I'd like you to try and sync up with your ball.
I typically play on the back room to your right, but like I saw my comp, and I was like, I can be aggressive with cooldowns.
Yeah.
But then we'll see what happens.
I mean, I would have naded even sooner than that. You know, like as soon if you can hit Orisa Ryan Hog with that, like it's not going to be necessarily follow upable, but it's going to create like a huge like right now the nade needs to hit. You know what I'm saying? This nade hits, it's like going to hit ball, it's going to hit Hog, it's going to hit Orisa. That's going to completely shut down there because you're like right now you're healing your Ryan, but like he's okay. And the best thing you can do right now is make sure that they don't walk forward. That's going to prevent the damage from being done in the first place, you know? So, like, the nade hit, but I don't know. Well, that's not the best. I think either way here, you're at a high risk. But, like, be careful, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a bit unfortunate. Okay, so you lost track of the flanks. Not the most impactful nade. You missed the sleep dart. We'll keep going. How long is this game? Okay, good. We should have lots of footage to talk over. So now we're just kind of like doing...
Not that long.
What is it?
I said it's not that long.
Okay, that's true. It's long enough. It's long enough.
Yeah.
So we're just surveying. We're getting as much information as we can. Haha, poor Ryan. Ha ha ha. Run. Actually, you might as well just die. Maybe you can get out. I don't think you can. No, maybe you can. Hey, you should be okay. So I will actually, let's actually talk about this really quickly. So one of the changes with Overwatch 2 is that you, and I learned this over time, is you cannot play passively almost ever. And I don't necessarily mean you need to be playing aggressively first tempo battle on all the time, but because there is one fewer off tank, the enemy DPS are just permanently more free. That's just how it is. They have more space, there's fewer people to run into. So the way you defend yourself is either by being aggressive and taking those duels and winning those things yourself, or you move in such a way that you are unpredictable and hard to keep track of. Do you, like really, if you think about like how you died here, it was because you had a pretty decent position, but you stayed there. The enemy, you didn't get enough pressure while you were here, and then the enemy team took an off angle on you. You didn't know about it, and then you got caught off and killed, right?
Yeah.
In Overwatch 2, this kind of crap is going to happen even more often. Your ability to kind of keep track of where the enemy team is, and then dynamically changing it. Like maybe you start here, and then you get a shield cycle, and then you're as quickly as you can. You try and go for a cheeky, like you sit in your sleep dart, and then you peek around for a nade, and if there's a hog here, you sleep him too. And what that does is you're constantly, like, the enemy DPS are kind of try and take positions on you, but if you're hard to read, then it's going to be hard for them to be able to get a good angle on you. This was like by far the best return on investment thing I did coaching for London when we were playing dive, because Landon wasn't the best mechanical on it at the time, and he was really struggling. And when we said stop standing still, start moving, flow left, flow right, aggressive nades, defensive nades, it doesn't matter, but I want you flowing, especially in Koth. His deaths per 10 and offensive assists skyrocketed, like literally overnight when that mindset shifted. That you cannot stand still.
Yes, I think that's the thing I do a lot. Is like I don't move as much.
Yeah, and I think
I find a place and I chill.
Yeah, and I think in Overwatch 1, like, you can be rewarded for that oftentimes. But I think like this is something that you can already start playing. Like, and I think the best way to like think about it is just think about moving dynamically and playing a little bit more proactively. Because even if you throw a couple of Overwatch 1 games, I think that's going to be the mindset you want to be in.
You're powered up. Get in there.
That's really unfortunate. Didn't hit the Mercy. Ah! Okay, let's keep going. Let's see what we got. Those nades need to hit. Feels like your nades are always just a little bit off, you know? Didn't hit the Mercy, doesn't hit the Cassidy or the Hog. Kind of sucks. Ah! Ah! Dang it! It's frustrating. This kind of stuff I'm kind of letting fly though, because to be honest, this just feels like rust. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This just feels like you're missing the sleep darts, you're missing the nades, you're kind of trolling the lobby a little bit with here and there. I'd rather focus on the stuff that, like, once you actually grind, you can think about, rather than just, oh, you need to hit sleep dart, you know? Obviously. Okay. So, you are Ana. You are in Overwatch 2. There is no ball on the field, and there is no Roadhog on the field, okay? We did this little exercise the other day with the Diva player. What is a play that you can make? No ball, no Orisa shield. What do you do?
Look for a nade.
Yeah.
And maybe not the nade or like, but like no one can capitalize on the nade.
Yeah.
Maybe just pressure on them.
Yeah. So how would you play then? Where, when, what? You know?
peek right above them, throw a nade quickly, and then hide.
Yeah,
Probably.
you can go sneaky mode too. The other thing you have to keep in mind as well is that like healing is really important in Overwatch 2, but it's actually slightly less important than it is in Overwatch 1 because there's one fewer.
There's less healing in Overwatch 2.
Yeah, there's one fewer tank that you have to heal, and also you have to think about like this Reinhardt now has damage reduction. Like he feeds less ult charge, so like there's less motivation to shoot tanks in the first place. But the other thing is he's gonna have like 625 HP. He's gonna be able to cancel his charge. He's gonna be like a lot more free to do kind of his own thing, so you can be more free to do your own thing too, around what he's doing. So like right now, instead of like trying to coach you to win Overwatch 1, I want you to think about like what would an Overwatch 2 Ana do in this circumstance. You've got tanks here, you got squishies trying to cross.
Push the Kree.
What would you do?
Push the Kree.
Yeah, maybe push the Kree. Throw a nade on the screen because he's follow up on him, right? Like your team can actually follow up on this hero, right?
And he's alone.
You could also go 3, 2, 1. I'm gonna peek underneath and look for get a sleep on one of these tanks. Get a sleep on one of these tanks. Yep. Start shooting that Mercy, right? Just put general like your goal has to be pressure at a good time. And I think you could do these things here, even if like that's okay. The nade doesn't last as long. Okay, it doesn't matter. They're terrified while it's happening, right? Go get him. Go get him.
Oh, I will.
Yeah, but go get him when he's low in HP, right? Like now.
I know.
Yeah, right. So, I mean, I respect it. Like that. I'm not saying that's definitely the direction we would like you to go, but just do it correctly. Nice. That's fight-winning sleep dart. Was he even aiming for you?
I don't think so.
I don't think he was. He was aiming for your soldier. I guess it ended up happening. Okay. I don't know how you guys are clutching this up. Again, these nades are killing me. Definitely something that hopefully will get better with time. If you don't see a lot of improvement from this, then I would consider practicing this, because if you look at this nade, obviously he's rolling, but like it manages to miss literally everybody, which is.
I think it's just where I throw it, not the aim part.
Yeah. So that's the question for me, right? Is it maybe it's not a mechanical thing, maybe it's just like the way you're thinking about it. I'm not sure.
Yep.
Okay. This is good. Like kind of like what you're doing here. Again, like remember you're more free to do what you want, but so are the enemy DPS. So like you have to always be aware of where they are. Kind of like that soldier in first point. Okay. Overwatch 2, Ana.
Peek left side.
Yes.
Look for a nade or something.
Right. Especially as soon as your Rhine is here, you need to go make a play. You need to go make a play. I want coming in here with full cooldowns, ready to sleep dart.
Should I play it like more like a DPS?
You kind of do. Like it's just like your job is to be, like I said, just proactive limit test.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Go out here, and as long as you have cooldowns and you know what you're running into, you shouldn't die. If there's like a Genji over here or a Tracer or something like that, then you'd be feeding. But like you can walk out here, you can sleep dart this guy, and then you can toss a nade in the backline and then run back to your team and hide again. That's kind of the mindset that you need to be in. Your heal body right now. You miss. Like what have you done this fight so far that a Moira could not have done better, right?
AFK heal.
Right, even by Overwatch 1 standards, this is not great, right?
My ultimate is charged.
And this fight's over. Okay, we're gonna go. We go. We don't even need to know. It's over. Yeah, we knew it was over pretty quickly. Okay, let's see what we go here. This is why being aware of like the enemy team, the enemy DPS is so important, because if you notice about like what we talked about, like with the soldier flanking and with you pushing the McCree or the Cassidy or coming in through here in the tanks or even what was happening here, like going on the flank here. If you know where the enemy Roadhog and Cassidy are, then that allows you to take this flank here safely. If you know that this Cassidy is sitting inside here, then maybe you don't want to push here. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
You being aware of where they are is what allows you to make plays. If you do not know where they are, then you don't know where you're going to need to go to make plays, because you'll probably just end up straight up feeding.
Yeah.
You could probably just nade that. I think you could probably nade it off the wall and then pop some shots at him, and then if you hit one body shot, he's going to have to piece, and then maybe you can cross. Alright. Okay, I mean, again here, you can smell it, right? You can smell it. What's Overwatch 2 Ana gonna do here? Right, you're gonna go flank. You're gonna go flank with your hog. You're gonna throw a nade right here or a sleep dart on the corner, and then you're gonna get a kill. You're gonna make sure your Ryan is close to full HP, and then you're gonna help your Ryan cross by making a play, right? This is just kind of lazy play right here, right? Like that nade is good, but it was so much harder than it needed to be, right?
Yeah.
And then when you don't have cooldowns, you chill, right? Okay. Is all this making sense, by the way?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
Be more proactive.
Yeah, Egoist Cat had a good video on this, by the way. Let me actually pull it up and plug it in chat really fast. Something to check out. Because there were so many people that like were willing to Overwatch 2 and like, oh, I'm just dying off cooldown, supports suck, oh, it's horrible. But it's actually like here. It's just because people had like old habits, and you have to be a little bit more actively pressuring so that dude, I'm not even streaming. Why didn't you say something? I'm an idiot. There you go.
I just assumed you pulled up Twitch.
I'm so stupid. You've been dealing with stream delay this entire time. Holy
yeah,
crap,
but like,
dude.
it wasn't that bad.
Okay. Sorry. But yeah, it's just basically like the mindset is like you have to be more proactive with defending yourself by not only like kind of pressuring and pushing people, but also by like actively tracking where those threats are coming from, knowing exactly what they're gonna do before they do it. Like again here, like that nade is so much harder than it needs to be. Like your Ryan is just kind of holding main. Your Ryan's job here is really just to kind of keep the enemy team busy. He can't really push anything. So what you need to do is make sure that he's like at a HP to where he's okay, and then go make a play here that he can actually push off of main. Like I respect the attempt to nade here, but like it's actually such a low percentage play for you. Like again, like look at this dude. Like this is so free. Like this is so free. You are missing so many opportunities. You're creating no pressure as Ana whatsoever. And like if you're thinking like a Baptiste is going to win probably by playing a little bit more main, but he's going to be able to do more damage than you and provide like he's going to win the battle down main. Even as Zenyatta here, like as Zenyatta, I would not just AFK shoot the shield. I would like shoot shield a little bit, maybe toss an orb in my Ryan or whatever, and then go like charge a right click and like look for pressure on the backline or a Discord on their hog. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then as long as I'm like careful around their hog, then it should be okay. Really, really nice play. And again, this sleep dart works, but I guess the question is just like, did you know that he was there?
Beforehand, not really. Until he started shooting.
Yeah, right. You didn't know. Okay, now I don't think that there was a possible way that you could know that he was there because he snuck in at a really smart time. But this could be like a good mental exercise for you. It's like always trying to track where like the enemy tanks and the enemy supports are constantly, always. Because then if you know that Cassidy is no longer here,
you mean tanks and DPS?
Yeah, that's what I mean. But if you're like here and that you know that Cassidy is missing, dude, holy crap, this is so free. You can do literally anything that you want in this flank. And really the same thing goes for your soldier too. Like soldier's just sitting here, but if he knew that Cassidy had left, that he can now just hard flank and nothing can stop him, right? This is why like it's going to be about which team is able to know things and then act off of those things better. And because there's one fewer tank, it's so much easier to like track what's going on. You know what I'm saying?
You're going to be okay.
Like, is that hog behind you? Like, I don't even know anymore. Like, I don't think you know anymore either. Make a play. Okay. Nice. Made a play, but it was hard to see what was going on. Like you could do this. You could do this. Imagine this. Let's play this one out again. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Just nano him from this corner and then go zoom here, right? And then just literally just place like just shoot. I'm literally shoot. Sniper Ana, you know? Throw the nade, sleep that, or, you know, Orisa or Hog, and just start shooting. You'd feel
So
safer.
am I like staying with my main tank too much?
Yeah, I really think you are. You know what? Actually, let's not phrase it that way. Like I can see this being a totally fine playstyle right now, but I think the reason you are not thinking like a playmaker enough.
Yeah.
I think that you're not thinking like a playmaker enough. Let's not say you're staying with your.
I
main
agree
too
with
much.
that.
I think
I try to support more.
Yeah, I think you need to be more proactive with this here. And what we talked about this yesterday, where it was like, or day before yesterday, where it was like, the goal has to be to limit tests a little bit to where like I'm telling you to do things that are going to result in your deaths per 10 probably jumping up just a little bit. But if you can learn from that and like give yourself some feedback, that has to be better than what you're doing, right? Like we haven't you haven't learned much from these fights outside of that you need to work on your nade placement a little bit. You know what I'm saying? There hasn't been a lot of things to learn. Make it hard on yourself. Like be okay with feeding just a little bit. Learn. Fortune favors the bold. You know? So this is the case in Overwatch 1 as well as Overwatch 2, but way more so in Overwatch 2. You had no idea, did you?
What? How about that? Yeah.
You had no idea, did you?
I think I turned off my monitor.
Yeah. This is what I'm talking about though. When people say I play more proactively, it's like you play more proactively and you also track the enemy DPS, so you live more and you make more plays. If you track the enemy DPS, that is going to keep you're going to die so much less than if you were just playing it passively and standing in main. But you're also going to be able to use that information and go and make plays. But you had no idea. I think you could have naded Jurissa there and kept her alive, but that's okay. And this is where my little alarm bell goes off in my head. Right about 3, 2, 1. Is what you're doing bad?
No.
But I want
maybe I should have just pushed and shot. I'm playing too passive.
I think it's okay because you're able to shoot and heal. But my question is, do you know where their soldier is right now?
Yeah, right side.
Right side?
He might be flanking.
Okay, right. That's what I'm asking. Is like, okay, as long as you know where he is, this is fine. But then, like, little alarm bells. Like, it's actually Overwatch 2. People are like, it's like not deathmatch, but it really is a little bit like. You always have to kind of be on your toes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, keep track of the enemy DPS.
Yeah. Always ready. No comment. Ah! Okay, we're good. Make a play. Nah! That was good. But I was gonna say just throw the nade and then just like walk up and go up the stairs. Then, you know, I'm talking about like hard flank here, drop behind, sleep the Cassidy, you know, walk up to him and slowly bump him off the edge, and then run into their spawn, hide up here, drop on top of them, nano your Mercy, nano Valk onto this Hog. You know, get in the Overwatch 2 mindset, Aiden. Let's go.
I will.
Go Moira, get into spawn as soon as possible.
No, you will not see me play
I'm
Moira.
not even joking. Overwatch 2 Moira, I promise you, is going to be more flanking.
I still hate her. I played like 200 hours in one season playing Moira, and like season 18, and that was awful.
Yeah. I'm confident that like heal botting as Moira is like going to be actually awful. Like you're gonna have to like heal and then literally go like throw damage orb and right click and try and like assassinate a squishy or pressure a squishy. I'm like 99.9% sure that's how you're gonna have to play Moira in Overwatch 2. Because I do not see how else she's going to win.
We do a little bit of trolling in here, but
Yeah, okay. I mean, at least you're like trying things, right? Because like again, you're thinking Overwatch 2. Like there's no Orisa on the field, right? It's just the hog, right? So
Yeah.
shut down the hog, play near cover, and maybe this works out.
At my position.
Yeah, see, this is silly though, because like you sleep, but you have to understand that even without the Orisa, that there's going to be people trying to punish you here. So like your mindset is not necessarily to like secure kills; it's to put pressure on and then survive, right? So you get the sleep dart, you're going to sit right in this corner. You're gonna wait. Are they going to come out? They're going to come out, and then maybe you can drop. But then what are you doing while that's happening? Like, what's your team doing, right? Your Mercy got off the res. Your Widow now has a sight line. You kind of see what I'm saying? You've like created pressure, and then you're going to be able to survive, and then it's like you trolled the lobby here. Like there has to be a balance.
Lights out. Rendezvous.
Yeah.
I like the aggression, but how you're doing it, there's no cover, there's nothing. Yeah.
Nano boost is ready to deploy.
But that's what we're talking about with the limit test right there. Like you look at that, and the problem there was not going aggressive and sleeping hog. The problem was the way you reacted afterwards, right?
Overstaying.
What's up?
Overstaying it.
Yeah, overstaying, and also just like how you position was kind of like sucky too. You could have just like then dropped, so. But I respect the battle, Ah, get him. Get him. Nade yourself and start sniping, bro. Nade yourself.
I was
Also,
naded.
Yeah, I know, but nade yourself now and just start sniping.
I was like, Mercy's jumping up. I didn't think I needed the.
Oh, you thought you thought that she was going to pocket Widow. Yeah, I see. Okay.
You're powered up.
So like,
Ah, Nano Orisa, let's go. Get that. Get him. Ah! Crud. Yeah, I like it. Okay. Maybe swing top left. Maybe. Nice nade. This is again where I think like you get your tanks topped off and then like come up here, listen for that hog, look for a play, maybe heal your tank, and then come from behind here, throw a nade over the edge. You know what I'm saying? That's the kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like think what would like Fen do in Overwatch League? What would Khan do in Overwatch League? Yeah.
kill them.
Yeah, they would, and off of good timing and being smart with it. But that's what they would do. It. They'd make that play. Yeah, I mean, this fight's won, so. Alright,
I'm under attack.
and I would even say things like this is where you're gonna have to think also a little bit ahead of the game too. Like, that sleep dart just doesn't do anything. Especially in Overwatch 2, it's gonna be a longer cooldown, right? Like, you hit the sleep dart, what does it matter, right? There's no actual pressure there because they're in their spawn, right? So, just shoot, just keep shooting him. Just keep shooting him. Keep shooting him and then sit on the sleep dart. See what I'm saying?
Yep.
Okay. Unfortunate.
Teleport.
It's okay, you can still be sneaky here. Nah! Everything you do is bad. You can't even cart bot right. You're just like this massive beacon. Shoot me, please! Oh my goodness! I'm actually so grateful. This is the best coaching that I could possibly expect. It's from the Cassidy punishing you. That's excellent.
I've come back from
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I want like an actual bot.
That was some intense rust there. We'll blame it on rust just because I'm feeling nice. Okay. Alright, playtime. Go.
Nano boost is ready to deploy.
Yeah. Okay. Nano. No! Okay. What does Fen do? What does an Overwatch League Ana do here? I'm gonna start phrasing that's my question. What would an Overwatch League Ana do here?
Made them, but
Where? You would nano your soldier, fine. Okay, now what? Now what do you do right now?
stay up.
Stay up here.
Drop down.
Stay up and shoot. Or stay up and do a little funny here, and then run away,
Yeah.
Battle, create pressure and survive. You are simultaneously less likely to do offensive pressure here and more likely to die to like random crap in this position here. Like, look at you. what we're talking
Almost
about.
died.
Yeah, you almost died. Who would have thought? Shocking. Okay. Ha, T-posing soldier there. Nice. Make a play. Make a play. Make a play. Don't stay in the back. Make a play. Fight's lost. You missed your opportunity.
What should I be doing in here?
Oh, you tell me.
I don't really know. Peek right side.
Yeah.
I think it might be too dangerous.
Ah, it's not too dangerous. It's never too dangerous. Do this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Chuck a nade. Chuck a nade. Hit this here. You get your 3-man nade. Pop a couple pot shots. You know, do your stupid RNG sleep dart from here. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be easier to land, right? Take some pot shots. Throw a nade. Tuck back in if you got to. You know? Come on. It's not too dangerous. What are you talking about? Look at the distance that they're at. Look at the corner that you have there. Failed, better heal your. I mean, like, what has your impact been in this fight? You know, it wasn't just like your impact was bad, but you also had. There was no opportunity for you to ever have an impact. Like you could have put ML7 Khan, the great, you know, Jonak in this position, and he would not have done anything from this position, right? So like, that you gave yourself zero chance to actually have any impact in the fight. I think for you, it's not necessarily a mindset shift, but definitely more consistency with actually pursuing it. Because sometimes it seems like you're looking for it, but a lot of times it doesn't. Okay. Okay. Terror Shatter. Alright. What are you gonna do here?
Look for a nade.
Look for a nade. Yeah.
And a sleep.
And a what? How? How?
I don't know how that missed.
Did he have bubble?
I don't think so.
What on earth?
Get out of my...
What? 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 Bro! Alright, I gotta watch this from your point of view now. I thought you aimed it well. Maybe you didn't. Maybe you just straight missed it.
I hit it first.
Yeah, it's just a little high, I guess.
The rest coming in.
Yeah, I guess so. Ooh, huge kill. Huge kill. Oh, huge kill! No way you guys don't cap this, right? No way, no way you guys don't cap this. No way, no way! No way! Nice. No way. You guys win this. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Oh, he gets stuck! No!
I'm fun.
No, you're not. Oh.
My team isn't, but
Make a play. Yeah! Oh, it doesn't hit. Oh! Yeah. Disaster. Okay. So, kind of a weird VOD, honestly. And definitely a short VOD. So, if there's anything else, do you have any other replay codes you want to look at? Because we finished like 15 minutes early.
I think I do. It's
Okay.
like...
Pull one out. Pick anyone you want.
Give me a sec. Alright. It's like a scrim as well, not a ranked one.
That's okay. We can look at that.
And it's the left star, I think. Like mass sales probably.
That's fine. Let's open some loot boxes while we're waiting. Nice. It bugged. See if it bugs again.
Ish, how can you open loot boxes?
What is it?
Didn't they... How can you open loot boxes? Didn't they like take them away?
Well, they're still here. They just don't do anything. Pretty sure they don't. I'm pretty sure they do like actually 0. All right, you have a code?
Nah, I'm logging in.
Time is
One
ticking.
Sec, one sec.
See.
It was a bad, not my problem.
Yeah.
Still a fun game.
Yeah. Now this is content. Yeah. What is this? What does this highlight? This is great. We're just gonna chill and watch some mono highlights while we're waiting. What is this? Oh, look at that playmaking. Oh my goodness! Did you see that?
The 1 man night, yeah. Oh, but the sweep, yeah. Okay.
Did you not? Nice. Did you see this? Okay, I think. Okay.
I saw the sweep.
Okay. Man. Why is it so awful frames per second? This is horrible. Almost as
Yeah,
Chad
that's
as
a good
Pepper.
one.
Yeah, shame on you. You got one?
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Let's check this one out.
I think that was double bubble.
Okay. Which one are
Mercy.
you?
I don't know why.
Which one are you?
I'm alarm.
Alarm? Nice name.
Thank you.
Playmaker. Playmaker. Ah. Well, your Mercy's dead, so maybe not so much. Ah! Disgusting! Okay, well that's that. Keep going. Did you have any questions about like how to? Actually, it doesn't matter because you're not gonna be playing double bubble in Overwatch 2 anyway, so never mind. This is good. Proactive. Take space. Take space. Take space. Take space. Take space. Nice. Chill. Sit on that sleep dart. Wait for that ball. Okay, here comes your nade again. So this is where you can do this. So first off, I would have been really cautious about using that sleep dart. But what can you do at this point in time in this battlefield right now?
Go left.
Yeah.
Push with the team.
Yeah, exactly. You can walk forward and like walk in and look for a nade from here, and probably sit on your sleep dart. But like you didn't really have any meaningful impact on that dive. Where I think you could have had a little bit more meaningful impact if you use your nade more aggressively and also position more aggressively with it. And again, if you think also like, and if I really break it down to the micro as well, if you're a pharmacy, like let's just look at this death here. What does she want to do? She wants to get like on top of you, right? Like over you, and be able to like just spam a specific location. If you walk forward, this pharmacy is gonna be like, where did she go? Right? You're gonna completely juke her. You kind of see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, this is what I'm talking about, like the Overwatch 2 thing, like where you can completely avoid dives by just completely positioning in a way. Like some of the best Overwatch League flex supports are always so dynamic with their positioning that it makes it like almost impossible to stage dives in them because they're kind of consistently moving from left to right to left to right. You're like, where are they? Where did they go? So it's not always necessarily pushing forward, but it's just the movement in general that can make it difficult.
Yeah, that does make a lot of sense. I think I spent the entire fight in one place.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And even in Overwatch 1, that isn't great.
Get back in the fight.
So you can kind of see like even this rotate messes with them, right? Like if you look at the enemy team, where do they want to dive you? Where are they staged to dive you?
Like left side where I was in first fight.
Yeah.
On the stairs.
Right, on the stairs or in like this general vicinity here, right? That tracer ball want to kind of pincer you from here, and then the Pharah is going to shoot you from here, and then like you're screwed, right? So what you actually do is you kind of ruin the dive for them. Look at this.
Oh,
like you and your tracer kind of ruin the dive. You see this? This isn't what the ball wants to do. How is their pharmacy supposed to follow up in here, right? Especially if you like get the sleep dart here. Like you just completely ruin things for them. It's good. You sneaky, sneaky, sneaky. Now you hug the corner, and then as soon as you get an opportunity to, you can play more aggressively again. Okay, let's keep going. Okay. Good use of cover here.
Can I go aggressively in here? I don't think.
No, you can't.
Yeah.
No, you can't. You have to be smart with it, right? It's not indiscriminately go aggressive. You have to think about the situation here.
Watching your
But I think even things like kind of rotating from here, and then as your team walks forward, you rotate to this position and take a more aggressive position and start shooting. You know what I'm saying? So like if you're here, and then as your team dives forward, you walk forward and you start shooting aggressively from this position. I think this looks good. And then obviously if you get the opportunity to make this rotate, you take it.
Heroes never die.
And so now you have a position to where you can do anything you want, really. Probably would drop the mini if you can.
I have your back.
Nice.
Go. I'll keep you here.
And then I would say in Overwatch 2 and 1, once you get such a powerful position, like let's say this spot here, do you think that you need to necessarily go like super dynamic crazy mode anymore?
Not really.
Yeah.
Because the place is too good.
Yeah, I think it's like you can, for example, you can rotate from like here, your team pushes up, you can walk up to here. If you're getting pushed, you can tuck in and grab the mini here. But I think if you do find a really good position, you don't have to be moving like crazy all around the map. And that does happen in Overwatch 2 sometimes. Like if you consider like, you know, first point, Route 66 on the high ground.
Yeah.
And like that's like an example of like where you can move around on that high ground, but you probably don't leave that high ground for very many reasons. It's kind of the same kind of situation here. Respectfully, that ball should have been slept like 6 times already in this game. And I think the part of the reason why you're not getting the sleep dart is
I think I'm too scared to miss it.
well,
Or
you're
like
too scared to
five
miss it,
times.
yes. But also you're not anticipating. You're not anticipating. If you expect him to slam or engage, you will hit the sleep dart. You will have more time to prepare your mind for it. You kind of see what I'm saying?
Yep.
So anticipate, and then have confidence that you're going to hit it. Don't be a beta. Unfortunate.
You're powered up.
Here comes the ball. Right? Like we called it, right?
Yes, we did.
We know we how can we predict it so easily?
Because of my team engaged.
Your team
so
engaged,
he's
right.
looking more engaged.
Right, what do you think he's gonna do? He's gonna come in. Sleep the man! You're giving this guy so much respect.
I think I forgot I had a sleep.
Maybe so. Maybe so.
Ellen.
Also, that sleep dart in the barrage, that high. Okay, I really want to actually see this barrage. This actually looks hilarious. There's no way, man. That's actually crazy. That poor Echo. That's the funniest thing I've
Yeah,
seen.
that player pulled me earlier. That's she saw it watching like 5 times in one map.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well let's watch maybe 2 more fights. I mean, obviously you have to hustle on the cross, but gee, I wonder what that ball was gonna do. Huh.
Not salmon.
Yeah. Just saying. Tanks are often very predictable. DPS too. Like.
I need healing. You're going to be okay.
They don't know where you are right now. They actually don't even know where you are. And a lot of it is also object permanence. Even in like Grandmaster and stuff, if you're not immediately visible, they'll forget about you and they'll shoot somebody else. Like right now, nobody on the enemy team, I promise you, has any idea you are where you are right now. Nobody knows.
Yeah, I don't think so. No one's looking at me.
Yeah, nobody knows. If they did know, they'd come after you, but they're not really thinking about you right now. They're thinking like, monkey, right? So you can get away with this. Now this is where I kind of, well, you're probably okay where you're at now. Yeah. Nice. Nice.
Heroes never die.
No comment. At least you were ready for it, sort of.
I'll make quick work of that.
Kind of.
Kind of. Where should you position here?
I think way back.
But Overwatch 2, on is supposed to be more proactive, right?
Okay, left side probably, but I'm afraid of getting pooped.
Where should you position?
No, like left side to the walls,
Yeah, yeah.
but I might get pooped.
Are you sure?
They no longer. Not really.
Yeah, okay. I'm giving you a hard time. I agree. I agreed with your first question, or your first answer rather. I think you should position far away here.
Yeah, I just play it safe.
You
Sure.
don't need to make a play. Right? Why?
Because we got the cap, I just need to survive. If I die, we might lose the fight.
You
because
don't
I
have the
died.
cap yet, but you have such a massive advantage in this fight. That
We almost have a cap.
yeah, you could literally just position here and just press mouse 1 and it's over, right? Like there's nothing that they can do, you know? So yeah. What we're doing is we're trying to like kind of like with this position here, I want you to be playing more aggressively, more proactively, especially in like these neutral or disadvantageous positions, but do use your common sense, right? Do use your common sense. Okay. Like they can't possibly win this fight if you're unreachable, right? Okay, let's just finish this
You're
out.
powered up. Get in there.
I think we just farm them right now.
Get me.
I mean, your position kind of sucked, no offense. If you're looking to go for a nano engage, where do you need to be positioned?
Aggressively.
Yes. Not on top of the Reinhardt, obviously, but where would aggressively be? Here.
The corner where our monkey is.
Yeah, I would go here, nano aggressively, walk up to this position, nade the Cassidy, and then you win the fight. That's it. When we played versus Dive as Rein, we didn't
So
lose.
one thing is like,
Go ahead.
I'm not sure if we engage first or they will engage first. So I just took the best.
If they
position.
engage first, then you will have both of your cooldowns and a monkey bubble to peel for you.
Oh.
As long as you're not directly on top, as long as there is a distance, like think about it this way, if that Reinhardt cannot shatter you, then you are safe. That's the mindset.
Yeah.
And if you play here, that Reinhardt cannot shatter you. If he starts to walk forward, then yeah, sure, play here. You know, just walk it back. When we played versus Winston comps, we did not lose to Nano Monkeys. We lost to nades as a result of the Nano Monkey. You kind of see what I'm saying?
Yep.
And then you missed
Monkey
your...
boots in the back.
Right, exactly. Okay, that is all. Do you have any questions?
Not really.
Your
Just need
mindset...
to.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, just to need to like be more aggressive or like be more and more dynamic.
Yeah, more dynamic. I want you to be like limit testing on more. Be thinking, can I adjust my position? Can I try this? Like, it's all about like your cooldown spikes, kind of, right? Like if you have that nade, if you have that sleep dart, then start kind of being more dynamic with it. I think there's definitely times where you want to kind of sit on your sleep dart, but actually, even versus dive, this kind of mindset is going to be able to like take a lot of pressure off of you and make you harder and more unpredictable to dive. What I learned, like what I was talking to you about earlier, what I learned with Landon is that like when he was moving more fluidly, more unpredictably, and taking a little bit more proactivity with his defensive measures, he was dying less. Because the problem is when you play up against good dive teams or good dive players, if you're predictable and passive, then it requires you to play very good mechanically to beat them. In other words, if you just sit in a choke and don't move, and they stage a perfect dive on you, the only way you live is if you hit the sleep dart and the tracer. You kind of see what I'm saying? Whereas if you move more dynamically, you're unpredictable, you're hard to track down, you adjust your position, then you are not, it's almost in a way better than saving your cooldowns for the ball and the tracer, because it's harder to even set up to get to a position where they can dive you because you're hard to predict. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
These are very intangible, theoretical, philosophical kind of words I'm using, so I understand that's kind of a problem. But it's something that I just want you to limit test more and see what you can kind of come up with. Does that make sense?
Time to throw more ranked games.
Yeah. I mean, a little bit more ranked games. I mean, if you tank a little bit of SR, see how that feels, and then a little over a week, you'll be able to like actually test this stuff and see how it actually feels in the game. Okay.
Yeah, I will.
Sounds good. Keep me updated with how stuff is going. Good to chat with you again. Shame on you for not coming to see me, but that's okay. I'll forgive you this time.
Next time I visit it.
Yeah, okay. We'll see. I might change
Thank you.
addresses, change my name, and not tell you where I moved to. So. See you, Aiden.
Have a good one.
I was Aiden, one of my old students, coach from a little while back, and talking a little bit about Overwatch 2 on a mindset. So I think a lot of you guys will be, let's put it this way. I don't want to I'm not trying to stereotype here, but I'm going to use it anyway. It's the Mercy main, support main, Moira main, heal bot mindset that's going to really struggle in Overwatch 2. I'm not specifically targeting Mercy mains here. Like any sort of support main mindset is going to struggle in Overwatch 2. If you're not dynamic, creative, you don't have to necessarily be aggressive. If you are not paying attention to what's going on around you, then you're going to have a hard time in Overwatch 2, I think. It is not at all like deathmatch, but it is a little bit more dynamic, and you have to be more attentive. And that is something that I've been very vocal about. Okay. Next session, Magpolar. Looks like we have some Ashe to look at, which I am always stoked for. Water. Hydrate. Let's begin. Yo, how's it going?
Hello?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, sick. I'm getting your replay code pulled up as we speak. Let me get my whole little coaching UI situation sorted. Masters Ashe, am I correct?
Yep.
Okay, all right. Let's get this here. So you're an Ashe OTP. I thought that was a 2020 thing, but I guess not. Ashe is a sick hero, with all due respect. It is a really probably I don't play a lot of Ashe, but every single time I play Ashe in quick play or whatever, I always have a blast. No pun intended. Really fun. What drew you initially to Ashe? What kind of got you started down that dark path? Huh.
I haven't always been an Ashe. I've been a DPS player.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was bronze, I played Junkrat and characters like that.
Who didn't?
Climb. Probably Pharah, Tracer are my other two characters I've played the most of.
Mm-hmm.
And recently, probably, I don't know, a week or two after the start of last season, I tried playing not a bunch. I tried playing Tracer, Cass, Ashe, Little Widow and Hans and stuff like that, and it was just way too much. I couldn't focus on learning objectives and stuff like that. So I said I like playing Ashe, and it's not a simple character. It's the simplest character in the game. I don't know, Reaper or something, but it's not gonna. I can focus on the fundamentals. I can focus on positioning and timing and stuff, and I can get better through that. It's not and Overwatch 2, I know she isn't getting reworked or anything like that. So
Interesting.
I just kind of said I need to pick one, and Ashe was.
Okay. I mean, it's not a bad choice. She's a relatively flexible hero. She does okay versus spam. She does okay versus dive. She does really good against short range comps if you get a good position. So your initial impetus, I guess, for OTPing was not because you're just obsessed with Ashe and Ashe is just the greatest history of the world. It was because you felt like it was easier for you to focus on what you needed to learn and what you need to improve on with just the one hero.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I followed a very similar path, not the OTP path, but I don't know how much you know about me, but it was I narrowed down my hero pool from 4 to 2. And of the same aim type, essentially the same support type, because I like you, I struggled doing 7 different things at once, and I didn't feel like I was getting the level of improvement that I wanted. So, does my voice sound okay? I'm getting red bar and OBS.
No, it sounds fine.
Okay, we'll keep an eye on it. Hopefully, stream isn't lagging too much. Okay, so with Ashe, you talked a little bit on your coaching forum about how you don't like obsessing with the details, the big picture concepts. I'm skimming through your coaching forum again really fast here. You were very thorough, which is awesome. Let's talk on your training week really fast. In the past, do you mind if I read this a little bit out loud?
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. You warm up and spam 18 games a day. You would try, but not really focus, went VOD review, Recently, you put a lot of emphasis on process and trying to improve it. Right now, I get on, play custom A mode Overwatch for 15-20 minutes. I'll play 3 ranked games and review each one for about 5-10 minutes while focusing on learning objective. Then take a break and play another 3 and 3 reviews. Okay, so it's basically warm up, 3, 3, 3, 3 with the 3 games and 3 reviews. Is that correct? And then
I normally
double
play 6. I normally play 6 to 9. Like, if I'm busy with school that day, I do like probably 6 games. So I'll do 2 blocks. If I have more time, like, I have less classes that day or weekends stuff like that, I'll do probably 3, sometimes 4 blocks. But 4 blocks is pretty rare.
Okay. And so you said specifically the reason why you review this much is because it helps you to keep focus on your goals.
Yeah, I struggle. Like, I can focus on playing and like winning, but it's like working on my positioning. If I played I used to just play like 10 games or like 5 games straight, like 5 games, like just do like a block of 5 or block of 10 sometimes.
Okay.
I can focus like, I can win. I'm not exactly autopiloting, but it's like positioning. I can't really focus on my positioning specifically past, game 2 or 3 if I don't kind of remind myself with the water view.
And you're not necessarily alone in that. I think most players would kind of would benefit from refreshing their focuses in that aspect. So I think that I don't think that's necessarily a bad strategy. If you feel like, do you feel at all that your energy tends to dip later and later as like the games go on? Do you feel like the review kind of takes it out of you?
After an extent, I think like my energy, if I just played 5 games straight, I can probably do 5 games while like not seeing a downside. But with the reviews, I can probably do 3 games without kind of getting tired and like.
Okay. And then what does your break usually consist of? Because you talked about you did 3 reviews and then you took a break and come back.
Yeah, so I normally go for a walk. I go walk for like 15 minutes. And then I kind of do like, I'll play Overwatch, go for a walk, I'll do like whatever my one class of school, like the homework that day.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'll take a walk, then I'll come back, like shorter walks, and then play another Overwatch block. Little breaks as well. Could be a shower, could be like reading sometimes.
Do you feel that when you come back that you play better or worse or about the same?
I feel like my first game is a lot better than my last game.
Your first game is what?
My first game coming back like off a break is generally better than my last game.
From the first set of 3.
Yeah, like my third game is going to be worse than my first game in the block.
Gotcha. But you do feel like on that second block of 3, you do come back a little bit invigorated?
Yeah, I think I do come back pretty.
Okay. So I think this is fine. This seems like, let's put it this way. It seems like good science. It might not be the best way to learn and improve, but this seems like a good way to learn and improve. And it's certainly something that when we talk about like every person is different, that might work really, really, really well for you. How long have you been doing this kind of a process?
Probably about a month and a week or 2.
How has it been feeling in terms of like intangible? Is it like does it feel good? You feel like you're improving?
I haven't. Yeah, I do feel like like my learning objectives. I'm getting them down a lot better. And I'm like, I'm getting a lot more creative with like my if I say positioning, right? Like, how do I play Ashe on Nepal Village? It's generally not a very good Ashe map. I feel like I'm a lot better. I know how to play these weird maps. Like I understand, where to play and stuff like that a lot better. Results wise, I haven't I haven't really climbed that much.
Okay.
I kind of stayed around the same, which is again, it's a month and a week, so I'm not too alarmed, but I'm a little alarmed, you could say.
Okay. Okay. So, how much fun do you have with this process as opposed to your previous process?
Like I enjoy it just as much. Like I like logging on. I'm excited to play. Um, it's yeah, like I do like getting better like
Mhm.
at the game. Like I like the process. I like VOD viewing and stuff like that. Um, Not necessarily more than playing, but it's pretty even.
Okay, so here's where I'm going to have a practical recommendation for you. I think what you're doing is has the potential to be very quite positive. I think maybe what was missing, maybe we'll find something in review that will allow you to VOD review with better efficiency, and then maybe you can actually translate that into a little bump in SR. You're a good player. You're a mid-high masters player. That is a top 5%, top 2%, whatever player, maybe even more. I don't remember the exact breakdown. So you really are going to have to kind of be above and beyond to be able to really like eclipse, right? What are your goals, long term, short term?
I mean, short term, like I'm 3800 peak, and right now I'm like around 3650, 37ish. I would like to get, it's a little aspirational, but if I can get back to 3800 by the end of Overwatch 1.
Okay. Okay.
And then sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Like really long term, I do want to, I do want to be like a top ranked player. Like I do want to be like very high rank.
Like mid GM, kind of something like that.
I'd probably push farther. Long
40s,
term.
46.
Yeah.
All right.
But
well,
I know it's.
Hey,
okay.
I mean, yeah, but let's focus one step at a time. But I mean, long-term goals are long-term goals are meant to be a little bit aspirational too, right? Like you always shoot high, that's not a bad thing. Okay, so let's hear it. So, like I said, practical recommendation. I think try what you're doing, but I'm gonna have a recommendation on any days where you feel a little bit tired, a little bit defocused, maybe a little bit, maybe something that even to just do like regardless to test is every third day, maybe even every other day, every second, third, fourth day, something like that. Try having a day where you can do your little VOD review, your little bit of focus, but then just play. No VOD review, just play. And you play until you get tired or you stop having fun. And then you stop.
Okay.
And then the next day you can go back to your VOD review intense focus session. What I want you to try and do is have days where you are so meticulous with your focus that every single game you have a goal, every single game you're fully focused. That's great. That's deliberate practice. But then also try toying in games where you take the foot off the gas a little bit and just play for the fun of it. It doesn't matter if your positioning is bad. It doesn't matter if you're focused on your positioning. Just shoot and flow. And what would be fun is not only will that maybe take a little bit of pressure off of you every now and then, which might be good for the next days, but I would also be curious to review those games the next day and see how you actually played.
Yeah.
How did your positioning? How was your autopilot? Like really actively look for a game to where you knew I was not really focused on positioning this game. I was totally distracted, and just see how you did. See how you did.
Yeah.
Because that's the goal, right?
Because like this game here, I reviewed it. Like this is a game where I was like really focused on where I'm going to play, and then I positioned perfectly. But can I do that when I'm focusing on something else?
Exactly. Can you do that? Can you get that to a point where you're like internalizing it? And also, it might just be a good mental break every now and then to not be like fully focused, right? I have this with people that like want to improve their mechanics. Full honesty with you, like I've spent a lot of time outside of Overwatch coaching the last year or so, and I've come up with a lot of ideas I want to see if apply to Overwatch. And my theory is that there are some people that, especially if you want to mechanically improve, that they don't necessarily need more deliberate practice. They need more just chill practice. Like once you put in that, I guess, quota of like full intense effort, then after that, being able to kind of let go and just kind of play for fun. And you might be one of those people. I'm not sure. I think it'd be something to test. Let me get this Discord stream started. Do you have any other questions?
Not at the moment, no.
Okay. Your schedule looks good. Looks like you get a decent amount of sleep. Obviously, the higher end is always better. I don't have anything else from your forum that raises any red or green flags. Looks good. Let's hop in. Okay, so Let me turn on audio first. That would be a good start. How bad is the stream on Discord?
It looks fine to me. It's
Okay.
little.
It's
alright.
720.
I can see it.
It's
Yeah, I
720.
can see it.
I'm not Nitro, sadly.
Actually, something else. If I'm doing these like non-deliberate practice days, should I continue like? Should I expand my? Should I play a little bit of Tracer here and there and stuff like that, or should I just keep focusing on the Ashe?
If you could play one other hero for fun, what's your favorite hero besides Ashe? I don't care if it's a projectile or it's Tracer.
Yeah, it's Tracer.
Yeah, then play Tracer. Yeah, play some Tracer.
Alright.
Have fun in your Tracer days. Play a little bit of Tracer, play Ashe, pick the best hero for the situation. And you know, especially if you want to get to like 4.6, you're probably not going to be able to get to 4.6 OTP.
Yeah, I will
Ashe.
eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, might as well start now. And again, I want to be very clear that it sounds weird hearing me say this, but I don't know if what I recommended you to try is even good. Just try it.
Yeah,
See how it
I
goes.
get that.
You're gonna be my guinea pigs here. Okay. So obviously Ashe without space is always a little bit tricky. Better than like a Widow. Okay, so I really, really like this. This is kind of what we were talking about. I don't know if you saw the earlier Soldier VOD today, but it was like, the timing is perfect here, right? Like, this is a really, really, really aggressive position, and it's so easy to get rid of you, but the timing is like actually perfect, right? Because like looking at your team and looking at the enemy team, you have the perfect opportunity to get good pressure out at the same time. So I love this. Brilliant. Like really, really quite good. And at this point, maybe just stay here. Anywhere they go, they've lost. Haha, nice. Nice! See, this is the danger. If you're too focused during a game, then maybe, you know, there's nothing to review. No feedback.
This was another. I mean, this was a better mechanical game for me, at least.
Okay.
So,
Well,
this isn't every day.
Yeah,
but...
no, I hear you. But even just like decision making wise and cooldown usage looks really, really quite nice. Like here's the thing: when you're in a bad spot with positioning, this is why timing is so important. You could stay in the choke, right, and just shoot, but your angles would be horrible, right? Or you could go with your team, and your angles would continue to be horrible. So what you kind of have to do is you kind of have to make an aggressive play to take space, right? This is going to be just as important in Overwatch 2, if not more so, because there's one fewer tank. But then your timing has to be perfect because you're going to feed if you do something aggressive off of bad timing. You see what I'm saying? So
yeah,
it's really good. Now, I hope you do the exact same thing here. Where would you go?
I think I do. I mean, it is main, but I do coach gun up to the high ground, like above me.
I would prefer you to go fill in the blank for me, please.
Right side?
Yeah, I would like you to go right side. Shoot here. Make sure and then as your team pushes, reload, coach gun up. And when would you go to right? Because you're playing a Sigma versus a Reinhardt, right? So he's gonna be stuck here for a little while. But when would you go?
When the Ryan is like swinging on my Sigma or
no.
Little before that? When our Sig's pushing in? Oh, and the ball's going in.
Yeah, this is your guy. You have to kind of like pay attention to like exactly what you're going for. It's going to be Tracer. It's going to be ball. Now let's put it this. Let's look at this. Let's say there's no ball, okay? Because it's Overwatch 2. When would you go?
When would I go? Probably when we're pushing in, like our Sigma's pushing in.
Would you ever really be pushing in deeply with Sigma? I mean, definitely when your Sigma is walking forward, yeah. But what else is another thing that you can track? 3, 2, 1.
Tracer, okay.
Yeah, that's another thing that you can use, right? Genji, Tracer, if you're Cassidy, like, and I'm not just saying just these heroes, but like, let's say your Cassidy's looking for an angle here too and starts shooting, that's your cue to take the other flank, right? And go at the same time, right? Remember your entire team is your tank, essentially. If you've got, remember if you saw the previous review where I'm trying to get Aiden to like play more aggressively with Ana, if he starts looking for an angle for a nade, that's your cue. You know, your entire, the world is your oyster, your team is your tank. So this is your opportunity, and I don't like how you're positioned right now. I think there's a lot more pressure available on the right side.
Right.
Because if you go here, you coach gun here, it's over. It's over for them, really. And then if you get shot out, then you go back to your team and then you can push from main. But if your timing is good, I think you got a chance to make some real impact in the field. This isn't bad, to be clear. I think this is okay, but it could be better, right?
Yeah, I see what you're saying with the right side.
Yeah. Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. That is actually like crazy shooting too. That is hard to hit. I think this fight is probably lost, sadly. Oh, I lied. Wait, maybe. Aha. Okay, this fight's lost. Okay, I think relatively okay.
Your right side was a lot better.
Yeah, the right side would have been a lot better, at least to start, right? Your uptime here wouldn't have been long, because if anybody would have shot you, you probably would have had to back away. But during that burst, you would have been so much more impactful and had so much more kill pressure. This is a bit of a mess. This is the 2CP experience. Okay, we're gonna go next. Oh, wait, what? What? I'm being baited. I don't know how that dynamite missed. That's unfortunate. Okay. Again, do you see what I'm saying? Positioning wise, you see your boss slamming in now. Now you go. What were you saying?
If my team goes left, is main better? Because
I don't know. You tell me.
I think it'd be a bit better because I'm not as isolated. I'm still taking a different angle.
That's true. That's true. What do you have to be aware of if your team all goes left and you don't?
The tracer and the enemy team.
Mm-hmm. Why?
Because if I need help, they can't give it to me.
Mm-hmm. So how do you respond to that information?
I make sure I use sound cues to figure when the tracer is occupied, and then I can look for the angle.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. You might even consider being a little sneaky, you know, like hiding, crouching, and then just at the last second, coach getting up to high ground. Yeah, and there's good decisions and there's bad decisions, and there's playing the good decisions well. Like you could take this angle and it's the right play, but if you do it the wrong time, or you do it lazily, or you don't scout, or you don't listen, then it would fail. You know.
Right.
So like right here, this is bad, right? Like this isn't bad, but it's not good either. It's a good position, but if you eat one right click here or anything, then you're screwed. Like even now, you're not full HP.
Yeah.
You should have grabbed the health pack while your team is rotating, or gone to your team and spammed "I need healing" and then come back here. But like your impact here is like gonna be so low. If anyone even sneezes at you, you're in trouble. Okay. Still don't love the actual position micro either. Right, we'd like right side better, I think.
Yeah.
Considering your team is now on main. Okay. Cool. Big dynamite. Drop shield at just the right frame. Surely you guys cap. Surely. Oh, nice shot. Surely you guys cap. Right? Surely. Surely. Guaranteed. Must happen. Definitely. Definitely won't
so.
TCP. Come on. Come on.
Uh-oh.
Come on. Please. I'm begging. Please, I'm begging. Ah! I'm going gray early. Okay, we're good. Okay. So, I mean, you can tell that you are, you know, you're not an idiot. You know what you're doing. You're playing fine, I think, for the most part. But what we've seen is, I don't think you're thinking as creatively with positioning as you could be. And then when you did decide to make the right position at the right angle, You were not thinking like strategically, like about like, okay, I'm low, my team is rotating, I'm lagging, I have to hide. I really don't want this to be just, oh, on Temple of Anubis, this is the position that you need to take, right? Because this map is irrelevant, essentially. This map might as well not exist. But there has to be something that we can pull from this that applies to wherever and whatever you play, right? Do you have any questions so far?
No, not so far.
Okay, let's keep playing.
Defend objective A.
Do what I say and
Oh, jeez, okay. They're stealing your ideas now. But her timing wasn't as good as yours, so. Yeah, I was gonna say, Aw, come on now. Alright, listen. What's the issue here?
I should a coach gone up to was that Aura? Wait, on the enemy Cassie? That is, I can't really read it on the screen.
That's Laura.
Oh, Laura. Okay, sorry. Someone's on my team named Laura. I'm like,
oh, gotcha.
Wait.
Gotcha. I was gonna say, are we down to 360p stream now? Oh dear.
I should have coached enough to the high ground.
Yeah, I would have gone here. Would have gone here. You have a mega to play with. You don't have support, but you don't have support here either, so it doesn't really matter. And nobody's going to punish you for not having coach. I mean, even if they did have a Winston, do you really think that this is better, right? There's nowhere for you. You need to get off the floor. You need to get off of seeing Ryan Shield. And I think also, like, the mistake doesn't happen then. The mistake has already happened now.
Yeah.
You are shooting now. No. Move. This damage is irrelevant. 70 damage on a Ryan Shield doesn't matter now. What matters now is getting into a position where you're doing more than shooting the Ryan Shield. So the good news for you is that there definitely is, even though you were focused on positioning, there's understanding or execution lacking. So there's room for improvement, which is good, right? I mean, that's a nice shot, but you're just making it so much harder on yourself, and you're doing so much less pressure in the meantime. You've been almost a non-factor outside of that Ryan Shield shot. Yep. Good adjustment. I like it. Nice. I like this a lot. I would consider going back top maybe now.
Yep.
Right? Okay, so they're pushing now, so now you don't even need to go up top. Did a good dynamite. Go back top. Good. Now they're doing stuff. The timing is good. Nice. He can push you, but it's risky, right?
Oof.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. That's just mechanics. That's okay. We take mechanical mistakes. Get help. Get help. Please get help. I beg of you to get help. Or you're farming Bob. Just bop. Yeah, you're killing me. You're 8 HP.
No, watch this.
No. Agony. Actual physical agony. This entire okay, the mechanics beef. And then you actually
and then the Bob C9.
I was like, surely he's gonna bob. He's gonna die. He's gonna die. That Ryan's just gonna sneeze at him and he's gonna die. And you didn't bob. You didn't bob. Oh man. Disaster. Okay. So besides this particular map, what's the takeaway here? So far, I like the last 2 minutes, I guess.
So I need to make sure I am just always looking for a different angle.
Yeah. Constantly repositioning. For you, it's not so much about like the position that I want to hold. It's about the dynamics of the positioning.
Right.
Do you kind of see what I'm saying? Like as the battlefield changes, as your team goes left, as the enemy team goes right, your ability to kind of on the fly adjust your positioning. You did a little bit of it here, like going up to this position, then dropping here, and then pushing. Oh, geez. And then, okay, pro Overwatch league coach, by the way. Going out here and then going up back up to here. Like some of it has looked good, and then some of it has looked just downright awful. You're sitting here, not getting healing, not using the right side, and then obviously like this situation here where you're standing main and just standing and standing and standing. So let's keep watching.
Yeah, because I think when I review, I just kind of like skip through to the start.
Yeah.
So
yeah, exactly.
I think that's probably be that could be an issue there.
Yeah. So you look at where you start, but you don't look at how you change over the course of the fight.
Right.
That's a great catch. You're doing a better job coaching you than I am. That's what we want, though, right? All right, let's see. Like, you would look at this fight and you would be like, this is not a good angle. This is a bad position, right? But it's just the start of the fight. Early poke, it doesn't matter. What matters is what happens 15, 20 seconds from now. I mean, like, we know where you're gonna go. You're gonna coach gun up to the left, I assume, right? Sure.
Yeah, I do. I just
Okay.
figured to poke them out.
Yeah, I got you. But that's
Okay,
the
don't.
thing. If that's
Actually, I had a question about.
Yeah.
I don't love top left here because I feel like I get flanked if I get flanked really easily by flankers or just like the enemy soldier just peeks me left and
so you would just die instantly here. Is that what
yeah
you're saying?
do you think that that's the best spot left side and I just need to be more aware?
I mean, awareness is always helpful. What about? Well, you tell. Well, let's think dynamics here. Let's think dynamics. Break down this second point defense: early, mid, late. How you position against? Let's just say a generic push.
If we win the fight, I normally push up, play like above the bridge, so I can hopefully come in. And then
Actually,
I back up.
Is where you are now okay, given the position of the enemy team, or could it be better? I'll cheat for you. I'll give you full information.
I think where I am is fine right now.
Mm-hmm. I would agree.
I can't really go left or right.
Yeah, you have no sightlines here, right?
Right.
It's a good angle, but you have no sightlines. All right, so
when they push in, I should coach gun up, and then when I get the point, I should probably back
well,
up.
see, here's the thing. When they push up, remember how you said that you would die to like a soldier flanking you here? If you wait until they push up to coach gun, why is that better at preventing this kind of cheese death?
Because it's like timing it so when they're all attention's main pushing in, they don't have resources to fight me.
Yes, well, if they push in, either that soldier's with them, and then this is safe, or the soldier's already on the flank, whereas if you coach gun at that time, as you're coach gunning, where's your eyes going to be?
I coach, check to make sure.
Yeah, you will look as you coach gun up, oh, shoot, the soldier's there, I'm going to drop and shoot from here.
Right.
Or there's no soldier there, and because they're pushing in now, you know that, okay, well, he's not using that flank now, right?
Okay, makes a lot more sense.
If you dynamically take an angle when the enemy team or when your team is pushing, you will either duel or you will take the position yourself. You will not be surprised. Unless that soldier goes like crazy giga brain mode and literally just lets his team push, waits 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, then flanks. But then even that's not free because he's doing nothing for the first 5 seconds of the fight. So positioning now, good, bad?
Bad.
Right. Initially, I think even fine to dynamite this, right? But then what has to happen now?
Right, I need coach gun up.
Right, I think you coach gun back up now because now if you look at your sightlines now, right, it's quite good.
Yeah,
because they've now broken the plane, and then you're going to be in a safer position as well. Okay, what if they had dive?
I should maybe go there a bit sooner. That way,
It's hard, isn't it?
Yeah, because if I go there. I want to get the extra spam because I'll be able to hit them before they go in. Then if I coach gun up too late, they'll just dive me out. I'll have coach gun.
So what do you think?
So maybe I don't play that. Maybe I just play main, and then when they push in, I back up to like back left. Like right in here.
This seems good. And then like move here.
Yeah.
And then you can ego your position. Like I think the play versus dive is to try and take an aggressive angle, but not to use your cooldown. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Seems okay. So again, though, we're seeing like dynamic positioning isn't super nice for you, right? It's the third time now we've seen as the fight kind of evolved, you didn't really position well.
Yeah.
Okay. Like the aggression, it's like free kills, right? Either you build ult charge or you get a kill. There's almost no chance of you dying there. And see, this is also kind of cool too. I like this from you because what have you seen?
They're pushing like left side.
Yeah. So why drop? You know,
Yeah,
you don't need to
exactly.
drop. Look at this position here. This is pretty good. It's weird, but somehow this feels like okay. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I think there's a good argument for you just staying here. Maybe making that Reaper TP on you, but I also don't have a huge problem with you backing off either. I don't know. What do you think? I'm not sure. Because I was thinking it would be good, but I'm also like, well, what if Reaper TP'd on me with Bubble? Then I'd be kind of in the middle of nowhere. I don't know.
I think if I have Bob, which I would after a Dynamite, I think that'd be fine because I can hit like a big engage, and then if the Reaper TPs, I can just I had Coach Gun, so I can
That's true.
do the same Coach Gun.
That's true. That's true. So you were already in a good position. You had Coach Gun. You also had Bob. Yes, it was a more aggressive position, but you had a more aggressive position with Bob. So even if you die there, you take like a great angle. Let's take a quick bathroom break and just. Oh, she got grabbed. I was like, I really wanted to see. Quick pause. How did your Tracer die? So now that we've broken it down, we've seen that even in this fight, you could have positioned better dynamically as the fight evolved. You started in a good position, but then actually you changed your position, and that changing the position was the mistake. That's funny.
Yeah.
The one time that you actually like dynamically changed your position, and it was the fight that you shouldn't have changed your position. Love it. Okay, that is a GG's. Okay, we'll keep going. Do you have any questions now?
Is this something I should again back to the just like days where I'm just kind of I'm trying to win, but I'm not like body beating stuff. Should I focus on my dynamic positioning, or should I just purely log on, play my bet, like try to play and see what happens?
If we're trying that mindset like every couple of days, you know, then you should focus on nothing except playing the game.
Nothing. All right.
Nothing. Yeah, strictly nothing.
Okay.
I think this is fine. Your Roadhog just dies really, really, really fast. And this fight is actually still winnable because your Roadhog died, but you guys ended up taking good positions. Your Moira is just actually massacring everybody. I don't know. I was talking with like Aiden. I was like, I really think that's like how Moira's gonna have to play a little bit in Overwatch 2. More of that stuff.
I mean, like just a lot of like Moira one tricks in my rank who do that and find success. So
yeah,
maybe that.
I mean, you have to think like if you're not playing up against Dive, then how are you going to leverage Moira's survivability? You know what I'm saying? You're never going to get pressured, so you have to play in a way aggressively enough to where you can kind of abuse the fact that you have a shift, you know? Because if you're playing Brawl and you're just staying behind Rhine Shield, you never use your shift. You never really end up using that survivability. That was great. That was like the flow state, hit the shot, hit the shot, hit the shot. Yeah. Not a whole lot to say there. I think you positioned relatively well over the course of that fight. So let's see. Now, an additional factor to consider in your dynamic positioning is your Bob. How so? You remember the last defensive fight, right? On second. How so? How is that relevant?
I can go a lot more aggressive because the Bob can like pull pressure away.
Right.
Which I think I do go. No, I do not. Okay, well. Yeah, I should have gone right here and then really good bob angle. Like I know the bob angle.
You can go right here and then you can just launch it. You know, like can you get it to here?
I might have to push up a I might have to like.
That's
walk
fine.
the
You
thing,
could
but
jump,
yeah,
hop to here.
I can
and then
walk there,
throw
throw
there.
it, and coach gun up.
Yeah, and then you'll have your. Well, you can coach gun. You can
I mean, I
either, like,
might-
coach gun up,
Alright.
shoot early, get some early pressure, and then drop, walk, bob here, dynamite, and then you'd probably have your coach gun again.
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of do it here. Like, this position is better than where you were. Okay. Honestly, Bob for Symmetra Wall is not a bad trade either, especially for the sense that you got, or the space that you got. This is just so unimpactful, you know?
Yeah.
Just at this point, just reset, or, I mean, now you're just wasting time. Okay. Okay, unlucky. Do you have any questions now?
No. No.
Okay. I mean, again, it just feels like we don't want it to be the Anubis OTP issue. I wonder if this carries over into your other games is the question, right? It's like as these
Yeah,
fights
I
evolve.
think I get what you're saying. With dynamic positioning.
Okay.
It's like, because I know where they're gonna fight at the start. Like I know they're gonna rotate
Yeah.
whoever through the little choke in there, but then it's like it's the same idea except they're gonna go weird spots because it's.
Do you have another VOD? A replay card?
Yeah, I think I do.
Okay, let's finish this map, and if we end up having a little bit of extra time, I would like to look over, like, let's just practice looking at a couple other fights.
Okay. Yeah, 2CP is also pretty bad for that because it's just 2 points.
Yeah, that's okay. Position, 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 position. Too late, right? It's too
Yeah.
late. Because now you're playing for your life, now you're not putting out damage. You should have died there, first off, but even if you don't die there, by the time you get to where you want to be, which is now, it's too late, right? And now they're not even fighting in your LOS anymore, right? Sucks.
Right.
So it's like you're not making many errors with your positioning, but when you do, it is really, really quite egregious. Your first point defense and second point attack have been really bad.
Yeah. No.
How should you position when they've done this rotate? Because I can straight up tell you that where you are now is the wrong place to be.
Wrong. Okay, I think.
I actually probably should have brought this up the first time this happened on first point defense, because it happened earlier as well. But this is still wrong.
Maybe I could go.
Because the problem is what's the problem here? You're looking right at them, right?
Right.
And you're not going to be able to get any support, and they can all see you, and you're going to be dealing with a shield. When they drop, this ends up feeling good. But in the meantime, this sucks. And what they can do is they can do exactly what they do here, which is shoot you, poke you out, and then even if they were to drop now, you don't really get what you want out of it, do you? Look what they've done. Look at they're taking a fight, and you are completely out of it.
I should go like right on that maybe little bridge there.
Here?
Yeah, maybe play around there.
Yeah, that's okay. That's better. You can get healing from here, right? And you still have a good angle. You can also even do this. This is a really, really famous Overwatch League rotation where you just play here.
Okay.
Like if they do the full rotate and they go all the way through, well, okay. Congrats, y'all. The angle onto them on high ground isn't that good, but they have to do something, don't they? They can't stay there. They have to drop the point. And as soon as they drop the point, they're toast. And unlike here, they cannot clear you. They cannot get rid of you from this position.
Right.
Something to consider. And without making this Anubis, we've clearly shown that like you have a lot to learn when it comes to figuring these things out. And now this is rough, right? Because it's like if you might die to literally anything here. Literally anything. Now let's think about this. If they cleared you out. Okay. Let's say you had gone here.
Oh, true.
Yeah? And then you don't get the kill. They push you. Where do you go?
Then I coach gun where I was
Yeah,
at.
then you coach gun right back up to here. Exactly. It's
Yeah, I think.
this is Overwatch 2, man. This kind of stuff is going to happen so much more because even though they're not going to have like these full man Rhine Brawl rotates, there's going to be a Doomfist on the flank, a Genji on the flank, a Tracer on the flank, this and here, you know, less support. You know, you're going to have to be able to move so much more fluidly and so much more confidently than you are right now.
Yeah, like I think I'm thinking more of like I need to take a different angle for my team, and that makes a good angle where it's like I can't position in front of them no matter what.
Yeah. I think you just need, yeah, I mean, really, I just think this is just going to take a little bit of extra practice.
Yeah.
Okay. It's good dynamite. I mean, you're doing all the right things. You're focusing the right targets. Your mechanics, honestly, are not, like, super, but they're okay. But it's really, like, the dynamic positioning aspect of it. Okay. I think we will have time to look at a couple more team fights after this one, because looks like we've only got about a minute left.
Ultimate is ready.
New defense point.
Okay. Nice. Okay. Brain on.
I will rotate top left, like right before they push out.
Right. What I would do, remember how we said that you're going to play like from main and then react and go up to here late or early? Now that they've full man rotated, I might just coach gun now.
Yeah.
I might just coach gun now. And then just hide from the soldier angle. I mean, you've already got somebody on him anyway, but just hide from here. He can't shoot you. And then just already be in this position now. As they exit this room, you're shooting on them from above. I'm scared you're going to coach gun late. Yeah, see, you missed your window, right?
Yeah.
Do you see they've already made it through the choke? Small thing with the Bob too, if you get a chance, like obviously part of the reason that this is like this is because you're so late, but try if you can get it on an angle and hit somebody at the same time, that's best case scenario. So I appreciate what you're doing with it, but I want you to focus less. I would prefer the Bob to hit right here. And then it will end up right here. There's your angle, right?
Okay.
Plus you get the boot benefit. Because I know what you're doing. You're like, I don't want to bob their front line, but if you can hit, like look how they're stacked. If you hit it right here, it's going to stop right here, and it will be an angle. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Because you missed the boot damage, and then the bomb itself placement is pretty good, but it's too late now. Okay. Takes all the ults, but you guys clutch it? Stupid Moira. Nice. Goodbye. Again, I wondered, do they actually have the manpower to clear you off of high ground? I mean, I look at their comp.
Really.
I'm looking at their comp, and I'm like, do you even need to drop? You know?
Yeah.
I
feel like if the soldier like, it's really easy helix up there. I mean,
yeah, that's true.
Like,
but
if
like,
he pushed forward.
yeah, that's true. I don't know. Something to consider. Limit test, stress test. Don't get caught. Don't get caught. Don't get caught. Okay. So you're going earlier now. That's good. They faked, but look at the position that you're in now, right? So unfortunately, this fight might just be lost because just the nature of the ults that they have. But if you look at like how you're positioned in comparison to what they have, this feels okay, right? This feels okay. I think you can be pretty confident that whatever you do here is probably the right thing. Yeah, I mean, this seems okay to me. Okay, shoot me another code if you have one. Let's watch two more team fights.
Yep.
So
this is.
Go ahead.
I was just saying, this is a good VOD. It's like a Nimbani one. I'm against like Doomfist, Winston. So
Perfect. Different challenge, different skill set, but we'll look at it from the positioning side of things. Okay, let's really need to have your coach gun for these dives. You're laid out of spawn, so that's a pain.
Right.
Because coach gun just completely denies this dive ever working. 3, 2, 1. Coach gun. The dive's dead. Right.
Right.
Because the problem is if you don't get the coach gun, you see like how little damage you did this fight. Like if you
Yeah.
don't get if you don't get the coach gun, you have a monkey in your face and it's a disaster. Huh? Oh, got her. Nice. Nice. This is what we're talking about with dynamic positioning here. If we break it down to the details here. You are pushed so far up right now. I want you to pretend that monkey is alive. Now you need to be cautious here, but what is the advantage of being in this position right now?
Well, I get, I have angles on them. That's the good part. The bad part is I can easily get dove by
Okay.
the doofus here, the monkey.
So how can
He's gonna
you
boot me.
how can you mitigate versus that then? You take in a more aggressive position now, and then what do you do when they try to dive you?
Right before they dive, I back up.
Okay.
And
Here's a question for you. What if you play in more aggressive positions as Ashe, and then are very responsive to when they dive you to coach gun disengage? Like what if you were to put extra pressure here, bait the dive here, they dive you, you coach gun to here. Once you can see anything, okay, yeah, and coach gun to here, rather than playing back here, letting them dive in the first place, and then not having anywhere else to go to.
yeah, that'd be better because
You kind of see what I'm saying? No, you have to you have to react instantly. You cannot be slow in your coach gun here, otherwise you will be one shot. But something to consider. Play an aggressive position, then kite away, rather than forfeit more space before the dive even happens. Because you see how that last fight, you obviously messed with the coach gun, but once you were here, because you had allowed them so much space earlier, it made it so much harder for you to there was nowhere to go,
Yeah.
Now you're pushing up now because the monkey's dead, but this actually makes things so hard for them dive-wise. Instantly cleared out. It's like the ounce of prevention, right? Putting early pressure gives you more space to disengage from. Whereas if you walk yourself into a corner before the dive starts, then you're already screwed.
Yeah, I'm just giving them what they want.
Like this is really good. You're positioned aggressively, but they're in no position to dive because you're constantly peppering, constantly shooting. Okay, so they've completed the rotate. Shoot that monkey. Do not let him do that. Now they can't dive. Walk forward. Walk forward. Walk forward. Walk forward. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
Right now, you walk forward. You get scouting information. You dynamite this Genji. Let's go. You bob this. Ah, it's unfortunate. Versus dive, you really want to try and bob the dive whenever you can.
The dive?
Yeah,
Okay.
whenever you can. Yeah. Like if you bob right here, the dive is done. It's cooked.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's over. You're gonna hit these guys, and then they won't be able to continue the dive. Also makes it a lot harder for their honor to sleeve it. Because usually they'll be in a position where she can't fall through. So this is a little bit different than just the dynamic positioning, but in a way it's similar to where you versus dive. And remember versus the brawl, it was all about they were rotating, right? For you, it's a little bit about being more proactive early on and then giving up space when they commit the cooldowns. And then when they don't have cooldowns, that monkey failed his jump or he doesn't have bubble, then what do?
Yeah.
You push back, right?
Yeah.
You push back. You disrespect them until they use cooldowns, then you're scared. And then when the cooldowns are used and you've stabilized, you disrespect them again.
Okay.
Like right now, zero respect from you right now. If this is like a gold lobby, they'd be like, just dive the Ashe, guys. What's going on? Kill the Ashe, right? Just 0 respect. Shoot. Nice. But do you see how expensive it was for them? How expensive? Nano and dive cooldowns and really the Diva Bomb, right? The Diva Bomb.
Nano.
Everything.
This guy's crazy.
I mean, but look at how much they have to use. Look at this. Look at how far they have to reach and how far they have to go. I think obviously you're displeased mechanically about the the missed dynamite. You don't hit the shot, but like in all of this time, 0 progress on the point, and your Ana is still on high ground. Crazy, man. Crazy. You guys actually might win this too.
Yeah, we almost did.
I'm curious, did Zarya literally get one shot? What happened? Oh, she didn't have grab yet. She should have just grabbed, man. Oh, she doesn't survive. She should. I don't know what happened there. Okay, let's watch a few more team fights. Dang, man, I thought for sure you guys had that one. Nice. Okay, got it. Oh, crud. I don't think you can make that jump. Why does this feel so bad?
I'm way too aggressive. I started too aggressive.
Yeah, you never really got the opportunity to like set up where you wanted to set up, so you were constantly using your coach gun to reposition, but then you didn't have it to disengage, right? Like you had a coach gun up the top here, and then because you didn't have your coach gun, you had to run away. You had your coach gun to get up here, and then because you didn't have coach gun to reposition, you're dead anyway. So it's just like it was honestly you were just constantly on the back foot. So I mean it was kind of whatever.
Just do it further back, like closer in the little room there. By the mini. Yeah,
just basically try and get to a position so then you can have your coach gun. So then when you have your coach gun, you can then play aggressively.
Let me handle it. Do something.
Okay. Now you need to be scared here. Why?
They have all the like angles around me.
Yeah.
So when I walk out of the choke, they can just.
You have a bad position. Right. You have a bad position, and what do they have? Do they have full cooldowns? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yes. So now you have to give them respect. Right?
Yeah.
Doomfist punch or not here, you're in serious trouble. And like, let's pretend that you didn't get punched here. You chill, you kite out, you kite out, you kite out. And then now you ego, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now you ego. Nice shot. She's gonna get it. Oh, wait, she was close, I think. She was close. How close was she? Maybe I way overestimated it. Oh! Oh, she was ratting you.
She's 95!
She would have got it if she was trying to rat you. That's the only reason.
Yeah.
If she had just not egoed you, she would have got it. That's crazy. That's hilarious. Speaking of rat, there's another one. Okay. So this is again a situation where you can go ego, right? You have the position, you have the coach gun. That monkey just used jump and bubble. Rail that team. Destroy them. Full ego. That's unfortunate. But, you know, Nano Blade Primal.
Yeah.
Did your Ana hit the sleep dart here? I heard a nap. Oh, maybe not. Maybe it was the enemy Ana. Okay. Let's watch one more fight. Winnable. Probably wouldn't blow my ammo on that. Oh
and
no! Oh no! Maybe we'll watch an actual fight here. Okay. should you soft ego right now?
If I knew their monkey was low, then yes.
Okay.
Could maybe push a little bit to my left.
Even if you didn't know, what have you just seen used?
Jump.
And?
Bubble.
Bubble. So, green light. Walk forward. I mean, I'm not joking. You could legitimately walk forward and bob right in the middle of them right now if you wanted to. And you would be able to get away with it. I'm not saying that's necessarily a good play versus like, okay. That's definitely not the play. You either push actually aggressively and bob aggressively, or you bob defensively, like on the dive, right? This one is kind of neither. You kind of see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not useless, but it's way too easy for them to just kind of ignore it or just isolate it and shoot it down. Okay. We've talked about a lot, honestly, a lot more than I honestly intended to, because the dive aspect affected the positioning way more than I thought. But did you understand what I was talking about when it came to ego, respect, then ego again?
Yeah, like just pay attention to their cooldowns, know when they're a threat and when they're not.
Yeah.
And
what I want to do is to tie that into the previous VOD review is obviously maybe there's a little bit of information there that you learned from me. But I think if you sat long and hard enough, you would have been able to figure some of the movement on first point defense out a little bit better. Like, do I really need to be giving up this missed space? Like, where should I be kiting to? Those kind of questions. And like, that's the goal for you, is for you to be able to practice these kind of like, as these fights, early in the fights, mid fight, late fight, how was my movement and positioning over the course of those fights? You kind of see what I'm saying? Was I going to the right spot? Not just was I starting in the right spot like you were saying, but also like, did I continue to make good decisions as the fight was going on? And then try and ask yourself, like, why was I making bad decisions, or could I have made a better decision? And honestly, there's going to be times during those reviews where I'm sure if you've noticed, if not already by now, but where you don't honestly know the answer. So then the answer, well, then what's the solution there if you don't know the answer?
I figure out what could be the answer and I just trust the film.
Yeah, exactly. Go test it. Trust that you're going to be able to figure it out and see how it goes. Like I always say, don't be scared of making mistakes. Be scared of not having any idea of what to try.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any questions?
No.
Okay.
I think I'm good. I think I know what I need to work on.
Okay. You know what you need to work on, and you also know what we're going to try potentially in terms of training. No idea if I might be trolling the coaching lobby here. But I want to see what you think, how it goes. See if it's fun. See if you're able to play better autopilot-y. Like the next day, oh wow, like I'm actually improving my positioning. I wasn't even trying, and I was still like positioning okay. You know, those are some things to test, and then let me know how it goes. My DMs are always open. All right.
Okay.
Okay, mate. Keep in touch. Keep me updated with how it goes. I will chat with you later. All right.
Talk to you later.
All right. See you, mate. Bye bye. All right. So Masters Ashe. Unusual VOD review, somebody who's got a very, very disciplined training strategy. But then I guess the question was like, not only what do they need to work on, but also is there something that even like if you're meticulous, is there a detail that you could be missing? Everybody's situation is different. And I think part of the thing for me is also like, what is something that this person could try that might actually like be the key thing for them, right? Everybody's different. So I think suggesting different things for different people that might line up with what their training schedule looks like might work. Like for most folks need to focus more, right? Maybe this player needs to focus a little less. I'm not sure. Do you believe that there are more throwers, both hard throwers and soft throwing these days? I would probably think that you're definitely correct. I mean, throwers will never stop you from climbing, but we're now reaching the end of Overwatch 1, and yeah, I think people in general are taking the game a little less seriously and screwing around, and there's a lot less like intensity, I'm sure, with training for a lot of people. So it's like playing near the end of a season, right? I think that you're in general, the quality of the game, your win rate shouldn't drop, but the enjoyment of the game will probably drop. Yeah, this was PC. Okay. If you don't throw, you're more likely to have a thrower on the other team than on your team. Yeah, exactly. Like you always want to take personal responsibility for your own thing, but I would be surprised if there are more throwers now than there were, like, let's say a year ago or earlier in the season. It makes sense, right? Okay, I'm gonna call it. Decent stream, wasn't too bad despite my fatigue. I don't know why I was so tired today. Hopefully the bit rate looked a little better today. I did bump the bit rate up significantly on Twitch, so when things get chaotic, it like looks less like a snow fest. So hopefully that was better. This Saturday will be an old school Spylo stream, not too long. Hammer time, Ask Spylo, 30-minute roast session. And then next week we'll start snowballing some of those collabs, as well as having our last official week of Overwatch 1 coaching. And then after next week, Overwatch 2, baby. We're getting back into it. Yeah, I will chat with you guys later. Appreciate you guys for hopping in, and I will see you next week. Spylo bot.